Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the recovery addict, and boy, do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
They got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
You especially want to go to court if it's bullshit charges because you get them thrown out. By gosh, go down and fight them. By gosh, make them work for it.
I think they have got the wrong guy
They got
there.
the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit.
All right. We're back. Give me a second there.
Is that correct?
Why does it show Netflix on my screen? Why am I seeing Netflix on my screen? Can somebody please tell me why I'm doing Netflix advertisement? Anybody? Okay, so I'm completely messed up here. I cannot see anything. I've got no view. Okay, my camera is on. Let's see, it shows black. I'm seeing on my screen. I'm not sure if you can see this. Can I go to 4? Cut. Show 4. Briefly. But it disappears.
Bring the jury.
Why am I have zero control over my my view right now. This is no good. This is no bueno. Can we go to camera 1? Does that work? Let me just say really quickly. Well, I can.
There's a lawsuit.
Is that working? Let's see. We have. Okay, now it's live. Why am I not? What in the world is happening? This is bizarre. Program, multi-view.
I'm not a camel.
Okay, I'm going to have to reboot my switcher, which means I have to restart. Let me just say first, Lacey Spano gifted 10 memberships, and Amy H51 gifted 5. And I have to restart my switcher.
Go unbeaten.
Which is bizarre. Did Little Harry come to the studio during lunch? I think he did. I'm not sure if you can see this. Let me see if this will show up for you. Okay. So this is my view. I see an advertisement for Netflix on my screen.
And now what Murdoch stole it.
Bring the jury.
I've got the ad. That's weird. Turn that off. I've got just my TV is permanently attached. You know what? I think I know what happened. Hold tight. Someone's been playing with the TV while I was gone. HDMI 2. It's my input that's off. And no, I don't have to restart. I don't think so. I think we're good.
Because he's the guy.
Because I'm the guy. Boom! There it is. It's back. We're live. I don't know why it didn't work properly. Okay, so I don't have to restart. Whew, that was good. We're actually good. We're green. Everything's working. That made me panic. I thought that I was sending out an advertisement for Netflix on my channel, which would not be good because as much as that would help Netflix, they don't like that. Oh wow. Okay, so there's me. Okay, it's been a rough little lunch period. Let's see if I can turn this on. Is everything working? Yes. So there's Amy H51. We got Lacey Spano as well. Those show up. You guys are making fun of me a little bit. Here's the important one right here. Ivan Victor won the internet. Congratulations with a yo. This is the second time I recall this week. In the last week that Ivan won with yo. That's his comment, which is awesome. Ivan, congratulations. You know what to do as you own the internet. Leslie Ann also gifted 10 memberships. So what are you guys? Wow, you're making it rain. 25 memberships gifted right now. just getting rid of all the gray in chat as fast as you guys can. I could see who received those, I think. Let's see. Wow, just a ton of people. Let's see. Leslie Ann's went to Casey Jones, Joe Landry, the Scarred Owl, Key N, Megan Rojas, Velda Lynn, Sherry Miller, Shanna Gross, Susan Buckby, Ellen Boggs. There's been tons of gifts. Apparently, a couple people can't get them. Sheila and Ivan. I don't know why. Thank you guys for trying. That's amazing. Parrot just said, "Good job, Boo Boo." Yeah, I made a mistake. This channel is amazing, Renee. You are not wrong in that. The people here on this channel make it fantastic. It was just awesome. Judy, member for 3 months. Here's your membership. Thank you, whoever gifted me a membership. You are welcome, Judy. I'll say that for them. I think it was one of the three massive gifters that just barely came in. Where's the clock? Let me bring the clock up. It's not running right now because, let's see. We're waiting. There we go. There's the clock. This is our view. That's a live view from the courtroom right now. We do have audio turned on from the courtroom, which has nothing currently. That's all right. And we're also just waiting for just a few minutes. The jury's going to start deliberating at 1:45. So it's 1:37 right now. So we've got just a little bit. We're going to keep the clock stopped for a moment until 1:45, and then we'll bring the clock up, run it one more time. So no clock during lunch. They get a little bit of time off. Tamara Jones, thank you. Love this channel. Love that you're here, Tamara. Thank you so much. Lacey Spano says, "I'm back," in a big way too. Thank you very much, Lacey, with the 10 gifted memberships earlier. That is amazing. Thank you. All right, where were we? We are almost 5 hours into deliberations. Shani D says, "Well, I lost that poll from yesterday. A lot of us thought it would be sooner than 4 hours. It turns out it was not. We're now at 5 hours." Has the judge been on at all today? Yes, Kevin, he was on briefly. We had 2 questions from the jury. Both the questions, it was funny because the jury asked one question, then a backup question. It was sort of for the same thing, but in a different way, just to make sure they covered all their bases. They asked for all the exhibits, all the posters, all the demonstrative materials that were used. The big poster of the big poster of the Google Earth map of the school, the west side of the school photograph, the timelines. They asked for all of those, and they got none. They got 0. They got nothing. Michelle Stark says, "Thanks, Lacey Spano, for keeping the dream alive on the channel." 5 months, Michelle. That is awesome. Thank you very much for your support as well. Let's see. We had a fantastic morning. We had a lot of people weighing in with a lot of very insightful opinions. We had Kurt from Uncivil Law. We had our very own Matthew Harris, as well as our very own Nicole Goodman weighing in as well. We had Johnny, Nicole's better half, I guess, other half. I can't say better because they're both members. Other half. Just go with other half on that one as well. Kevin, hello from Bangor, Maine, temporarily. What brings you to Maine? What brings you to Maine, Kevin? I'm curious. I don't think I've ever been there. Although there was a time that I wanted to buy actually a property up there that had a stand of maple trees so I could make my own maple syrup. The idea of making my own maple syrup appeals to me. The work involved probably would prohibit me from ever being successful at it. But the idea of just fresh maple syrup from the tree farm is sort of appealing. All right. Lacey's back. Uh-oh. All right. Is it just me? Just me. It does work on iPad because that's what I'm on. I received one the other day. I was not able to enable gifts on my previous username because I had an account channel. I have no idea how that happened, except maybe I used YouTube TV Live. Well, Melissa Ann, you're here now under Melissa Ann. That works. I think you had what? It was WD214 or something. Was that the other one? I don't remember. You told me what it was, and I have a short memory. Megan Rojas, hi from Hawaii. Wonderful. How's the weather down there? I think we have about the same heat. CW says the Maine coast is beautiful and plus bonus lobster rolls. Why are your little RAs in school? It's summer, says Debbie. They're not in school. They don't sit down and study history and everything. But we have a lot of field trips and events and a schedule we follow during the summer as well. So it's not just wake up every day and go out and play at the park or something. It's the schedule is a lot of fun. It's not focused nearly as much on learning, although they love to read. So we still go to the library and they still check out 1 million books and read them all in a week. Sheila says, welcome to the gallery. Well, actually, it's Green Courthouse, so this is not your first time. But thank you for your continued support. Good to see that Green Courthouse by your name. They like the schedule. They really do. They like being able to look forward to activities in different days and know that, some days they're going to be doing projects and other days we're going to do activities and some days we're going to do field trips. Huge shout out to everyone that gifted memberships today. You are the best. You are literally the best. Thank you very much. Led Zepper, all the way from Ottawa, Canada. Speaking of Canada, we have to give a shout out to JB. JB, hope you're doing great today. Welcome. Tiffany Carlino, hello from Utah. Hello from North Carolina, Tiffany. Just me, or you may have to sign into YouTube using Google. Google at the bottom, there will be 3 dots. Click on that and then choose show computer version or whatever it says to activate gifts from RA channel. Right. Or you can type !gifts in the channel and that should give you a link. Lacey Spano, does it help the channel? It sure does, Lacey. It definitely does. I'll say when people are able to receive gift memberships, it helps the channel. If everybody is a member and membership gifts are given, it actually does nothing because there's no one to receive it, and so it just refunds the money back to you, and nothing happens, and nobody gets gifts. But as long as we have people who are able to receive gifts, it definitely does. And thank you so much. Where can you find the month's colors? Sandra Rocks, it starts off with blue and then a light blue and then a green. And that takes you all the way up to 6 months, I believe. I'll have to look this up. The next color is going to be yellow. And eventually at the 2-year mark, it will get to purple. I think we ended purple. So you see how I like purple, the purple shirt. Weather Watch saying it was a plumb good choice. Dinah Do 420s. I'm doing double duty. Welcome. Good to have you here. Purple is the royalty color. It is. Terrible air quality in Chicago. The outside smells like a huge bonfire. That would be Canada that is burning, Victoria. Unfortunately, I think Canada's had just a major problem with some amazingly, from a size standpoint, wildfires. That word escapes me. Wildfires that have been just incredible. Lipstick Fever, hello from Belgium. Love your channel. Thank you very much. Good to have you here. Oh, look at this. I'm seeing little smiley faces on my screen. I think something updated, and now I can see your reactions. I can see hearts and smiley faces that float up on the side of the screen. Let's see. Let me see if I can show this for just a minute. If I were to take camera 5, yeah. So this is my view. I see these things happen, which is really cool. This is how I normally have to view all the chats. I can scroll up and down through things, and when something happens, say like this, I can click on it, and it pops up down here saying welcome to the gallery. But that's just fun. I didn't know I could see it, so now I can see the party symbols and everything. That is awesome. Sherry Cartwright, I have a joke for you. Do you want to hear it? Is it something you have to call in, or do you want to try to type it in chat? Because if we have to type it in chat, we have to probably remove the slow mode. Otherwise, we'll just be waiting here forever, waiting for the response. Tamara Jones says, I'm working on a grizzly bear painting and listening to you, RA. Thanks for keeping me company. Tamara, thanks for being here. Can't wait. I hope to see a picture of the painting when you're done. You know the burner phone number. That'd be awesome. 10 wildfires where I am, says Golly G. 6 out of control in northern Alberta, Canada. And really, it's just, you have to let Mother Nature take its course. Some of these are just almost too big to fight, and the terrain is awful. Whoever was asking about perks, they may be on the community tab of RA's channel. I think they are. I think you can see them there. You might not be able to see it until you're a member. I forget how it shows up. But as far as the color courthouses, I have over 80 in Quebec. That is so much smoke, so much fire. Just devastating. Some of the videos that are coming out of Canada for those are just makes your heart stop. Yeah, pray that everyone's safe. Okay, here's the joke. Sherry says, what do you get when you mix a bulldog and a shih tzu? I already know this is going to go somewhere. Okay, Sherry. I don't know. What do you get when you mix a bulldog and a Shih Tzu? I think I know. I'm hearing it in Ricky Watson's voice. Right there. Yep. Don't say it. Don't say it. Yep. That's funny. All right, we are moments away from the jury. Oh, I'm starting the clock again. I was a minute behind, so I'm going to add a minute. There we go. Clock is running. Here we go. So we're at 4:48. 4:48 is where we're at. If Canada's going to take a record from California, don't make it wildfires. California has dealt with just some just incredibly devastating wildfires. And they have that unique the Santa Ana wind condition that is just it can be devastating. That dry wind can drive that fire so fast. Okay, are you guys not seeing the clock right? All right, start the timer. The timer's running according to me. I see it running. Wonder if number 3 realizes today why she got booted. Will she do an interview? That would be funny if she already knows. Because if she already knows, she's broke the rules, right? Because she's not supposed to look up anything or talk to anyone about this. So if she has, it's more trouble for her. Oh, man. Number 3. Juror number 3. I think you're going to have to take an L on this one. This was a loss. We do not have a verdict yet, Nicole. We're waiting. We're on verdict watch right now. So far, we've only had questions. Sherry, let's see. I'm not sure if I saw your answer. I saw several other people call out basically BS is what they thought the answer would be. I think if you tried to type it, YouTube probably edited it out because YouTube does have a filter that prevents the answer. The only interview juror number 3 will be with the grand jury. Any idea what the verdict will be? Well, we're hearing from a couple people who feel they have a good idea that the questions they asked would indicate that there's somebody who's leaning to not guilty because it's focusing on what actually happened at the school. So that would be a lean towards not guilty or possible hung jury. Misty Blue, so annoying. I buy super chats and they charge me, but the creators don't get them. Trying to get a refund is ridiculous. They make it so hard to find where to report the issues. That is no fun. It's Misty Blue. Sorry that happens. I wish I was in charge and could fix it somehow, but I have less power than you do in that area. Pauline, the timer is running. Are you guys seeing the timer? If you're just hearing me say that the timer's been running and you're looking all along, you might not be current on the live stream because I'm at 5 hours and 1 minute basically. What happened with juror number 3? What didn't happen with juror number 3, Melody? This is a great question. Juror number 3 may not have understood the rules as well as other people because she was not supposed to talk to people about the trial. She was not supposed to, participate as much as we can. And she also answered a lot of questions during the jury, during the questionnaires for the jury, and seating the jury, that she answered in ways that would indicate that she was not very involved with the previous trial of the shooter, the penalty phase of that trial. And it turns out that she was very involved. Yes, if timer is not running on your screen, if you don't see it, please refresh. It is running on our screen. Thank you very much, Amber. Let's see. I have shared my opinion on where I stand on this one, and I do think it would be. I don't think it's right to convict him for this. I do think there are things he could have done that were better. I think there were things he could have done that were more courageous, that might have more honor to them. But we're legislating, you know. It's a slippery slope. I don't know where we draw the line if we say he's guilty here. But Parrot Court says, I'm going to try and call it after a while. Hopefully I can get these birds quiet. Maybe if you give them a lot of food, fill their tummies and then let them sleep. We need shirts that say, don't be juror number 3. I love that, Heather. Juror number 3 possibly lied under oath. May have answered in a way that would have helped her get on the jury, but be not exactly truthful. Food doesn't help. They throw
Bring
it.
the jury.
I'm surprised she was even on the jury, given they knew she had any part in the other trial. Rudy Patootie as well. That seemed surprised that defense knew what her background was and they had agreed with that. I'm not sure if they used all their personal strikes and her answers didn't qualify her to be struck for cause. But juror number 3, unless they called up weird numbers, they seem to have seated a jury fairly quickly. I don't know how many they dismissed. Not guilty. Thanks for clicking the subscribe button. We call that admitting to being an addict. Welcome to the group. Good to have you here. Not guilty. Wasn't juror number 3 talking to the victim's advocate also? Yes.
Let no dead horse go unbeaten.
Juror number 3 should have been in trouble. And the part that blows my mind is you have a juror on a trial where someone is being charged for perjury. They're being charged with perjury, saying you've lied under oath and not in an official proceeding. And here she is potentially having lied.
There's a lawsuit
under oath in an official proceeding, and there's nothing that happens to her. That part boggles my mind as well.
Is that correct?
She sat in the courtroom during the Parkland trial. She did. Parrot Court, you should teach your parrots to say, I can talk, can you fly? That would be good. How did this come up? How did you miss it? Carrie, this came up right after the break, right before the rebuttal from the state on the closing arguments. The state was made aware of that, and they informed the court as well as the defense. And the judge asked the defense what they wanted to do with this information. They said, we think she needs to be dismissed, and they did. They said, okay, we'll make her an alternate, and she will not be serving. Even as an alternate, she will not be called. All other 3 alternates will be called before her, and if all other 3 are called and they need another alternate, we'll have a mistrial. This will not go forward with her on the jury as a deliberator. Let's see. Your car's extended warranty just gifted 10 addict memberships. Somebody is going to get Ivan with this. I don't know how long it will take, but it's going to happen. Let's see. Allison S., Nicole Hernandez, Natural Empress, Amanda J., Golly G., Tamara Jones, Kelly 3 Kids, Becca Good, Levi's Mommy, and Kimmy B. all gifted memberships by your car's extended warranty. It's probably the only time you've really wanted to hear that phrase. We get that phone calls for that occasionally, but I think that's a funny name. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you for the memberships. Lots of thank yous going all around. You guys are great. The one afternoon Ivan isn't here. It's possible. Ivan is here. It is possible to get a membership when you're not here. It's just not very likely. And I don't know why. Ivan, it might have something to do with the fact that YouTube doesn't like your Facebook profile. You're going to have to change your profile picture back. Ivan's payment's pending. That's why he's probably not getting a membership, right? Possible. You're going to have to call YouTube, which is difficult to do. Try to find a number to reach help at YouTube. All right, so things are moving forward. I just got a text message. Let's see. Oh, it's from Thomas. Oh, the colors for the courthouses. 1 second. Let me see if I can put this up on screen. There's probably an easier way to do this than take a picture of a screen and then. But yeah, I probably could do this a lot simpler than this. But show in Finder. Okay. It's crooked, so I need to rotate it.
now that Murdoch stole it.
And Alex stole it. Hang on one second. Okay, here we go. So here's the, it's not the clearest view, but these are the colors of the badges for new members. Thank you, Thomas, by the way, for grabbing a quick screenshot of this. Brand new is blue. 1 month is light blue. At 2 months, you go to a green. At 6 months, you go to yellow. 12 months, orange. 24, red. Holy cow. Purple is way down there. That's a long time. We're going to get there eventually. We'll get there. But those be the colors. Those be they. Anyway, I'm celebrating with purple right now. We've got the purple on the screen behind us. Everything. Are gifted memberships assigned randomly? Yes, they are. They're actually controlled by YouTube. I wish I could control them, but they don't give us that ability. The YouTube has said that it's more likely to get a it's more likely to get a membership gifted to you if you're active on the channel or you regularly participate. I don't know how much that plays in, but it has helped. Some people have commented and then immediately afterwards gotten a membership. Let's see, Rudy Patootie says a funeral director here just got 3.5 to 7 years for mishandling remains. He had unprocessed bodies for a couple of years in his place in addition to not having a license. That's awful. That's awful, Rudy. I've heard of funeral directors who are just giving random remains to different people and not really making sure the proper remains go to the right place. Man, you don't do that. You don't mess with the dead. That's just, no, that's a no-no. All right, how old is the channel? October 2022. KR, that's when we started going live with court cases. So as far as true crime goes, yes. I think it existed for about 3 years before that as a metal detecting channel that I never really went live on. On occasion, I would very seldom post videos, but I have a few videos from before then. So the channel has existed, but it was metal detecting before then. We started in October 22. It was less than 1,000 subscribers when we started. It was like a couple hundred that were left over from YouTube from metal detecting. But in October, when we started, the first live stream had 13 of us here. That was it. Amy H51. I don't know if you're trying to, if your button is stuck or if you're just trying to hit Ivan or what it is, but you just gifted another 10 memberships. April Cantrell, Black Beauty, Lady Mystery, Sunny Tanner, Hillary Rose, Amy, Reanimal. I can't see that name. Reinimal. Suzmart 15 and Content Angel all gifted memberships by Amy H51. How do you get gifted a membership? Type !gifts in channel. In the channel and just hit enter. Somebody's going to type that here, right there. Miss Kitty did. That's all you need. And then it has this link on the screen, and you click that link, and you can change your setting to accept gifts on this channel. And once that setting's turned on, YouTube will make you eligible to receive a gift. How long have we been in Jury Watch? Gabby Gabs, including yesterday, we're up to 5 hours and 11 minutes, roughly. But we anticipated about 4 hours, I think.
I'm not a cat.
Was the gist. I'm not a cat. Deanna, the audio bird, thank you for the super chat. Let's let this play out here.
I had to go back and listen to what Mrs. R.A. said earlier today. She explained exactly how I felt, but much prettier smirking face.
Is that correct?
Thank you, Deanna, the audio bird. I appreciate that. Mrs. R.A. is much more eloquent than I am, and she's incredibly smart. Incredibly smart.
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
Most of my good ideas come from her, so I can relate very well when you say she said it much better than I did. I would, yes, that's usually the case for me. She's a smart lady. I married up. Thank you very much. Let's see. Jane says, hi, I'm new. Discovered this channel today. Great community. Thank you, Jane. This is the best community ever. It's so much fun. We don't have a shortcut button for Ricky yet. I don't think... Ricky, Ricky and Ivan are currently in the process of putting together a podcast, which we're super excited for. It's going to be happening here soon, and when it does, it's going to be great. But we'll check and see when that happens. We'll probably get that updated. Let's see. Carrie Arnold gifted a membership, and Mystic Mama also gifted a membership.
This is for Ivan's GoFundMe membership account.
Ivan, we need to get you on here. Something. Check your status. Call YouTube. This just doesn't seem fair. People are gifting memberships all over the place, and somehow you've been missed every single time, and it won't let you buy your own. So, oh man, YouTube sometimes it just doesn't play fair. All right, we waited for the court to have any more information. We're planning on staying with this today because we think there will be a verdict today. If there is not a verdict today, we'll probably not be live staring at this the
Is
wall
that correct?
here. But we'll probably try to follow some other things that are happening in court that are more shorter in duration, like some of the other small trials that are happening.
Fog just sent a super sticker with 3.99.
P-Fog, thank you very much. Appreciate the super sticker. That's funny because your mug has looks like red juice in it, and I have Gatorade today. I guess technically it's Powerade. Looks like fruit punch flavored Powerade. We do love Ivan here. It's awesome. We're excited for him. We're excited for Ricky and Ivan for their podcast as well. Their cops and cons. Is that what we're calling it? Because Ricky has law enforcement background and Ivan also has law enforcement experience. So it's going to be an interesting podcast as you have the two vantage points on everything. No car chases right now. We're actually hoping for a verdict soon. Let me check the Twitter. See if the little bird has any news for us about this. Okay, deliberations are continuing. Just looking at the posting from yesterday about the juror number 3. Kathy Russin was saying that juror number 3 was a victim's advocate and was heavily questioned during voir dire, and she said she had no connection with the Parkland cruise trial. Turns out she attended the trial and was more involved than she let on. It's called perjury. Yeah. I'm surprised the judge did nothing about that. Really, the judge generally likes to control his courtroom, right? That's why he can hold people in contempt. That's why he can, do some of these things. And when you commit perjury related to his trial, I think you should do something about it. You should at least tell them not to do it again. But that didn't happen. Like my dad says, the fair comes around once a year, and this ain't your week, son. The juror was not on trial, but the juror attended the trial of the Parkland shooter. Was a victim's advocate and was very much involved in the trial, even though when questioned, she said she wasn't. And that's bad. Pretty Mama 73, look at me, 2 months. Woohoo! Good to have the new courthouse color by your name. Looks awesome. Thank you very much. The color looks great on you, Pretty Mama. Don't forget your eggs at the door as the door hits you on the way out. Can we watch Judge Simpson? If he's live, let me see if we can find him real quick. Is Cedric Simpson live? It gets confusing because everyone looks at the message and says, "Oh, we're in verdict watch," and they join and they see Judge Cedric. So I have to sort of be careful here, but. else we have out here? I'm not seeing it. Hey, what's up? Trying to use my Apple TV to do it, and it's not working very well. Let's see. Did Mr. Peterson testify at the Parkland trial? Now I've got to think about that. I don't remember if he did. Let me see. I think it would have been. I think I'd remember if he did. The Parkland trial was just because the shooter pled guilty. There was only a penalty phase, which seemed like a regular trial, but it was just hearing the evidence for the penalty. I'm not seeing it here. I'll have to look. I don't think so, says Melody. No, he didn't. The trial was only for sentencing, but they still had witnesses. And they went through a lot of what they covered in this trial as well. Do I have the video chat calling thing set up? I could do Zoom today, but I'm not live on StreamYard. Which, by the way, let me just say, I do use Zoom, and I like it. It works pretty well. When you try to cancel your Zoom, they give you a really good deal. They give you a great deal. As a matter of fact, they give you 50% off for like 6 months. So if you have Zoom right now and you're paying for Zoom and you think, hey, this is a good thing I need, try canceling it because you get the same service for half the price. What questions do the jurors have? Sorry, trying to catch up. They just wanted the displays, the big poster boards that were used during trial, and they were not admitted as evidence. So the judge said no, they don't get them. Pretty Mama just gifted a membership and went to Weebug. Weebug, thank you congratulations and thank you, Pretty Mama. Let's see. Judge Simpson's in Michigan, so we might still be at lunch. Nothing yet. We're still waiting. Wasn't the shooter trial where the judge was biased and was reprimanded and she quit? Yes. That was a younger judge. She did thank everyone profusely on the prosecution side afterwards. She was like going down, giving hugs and handshakes and everything. Did the Idaho murder trial finish? Gabby Gabs, are you talking about Brian Koberger? Because we're just in the early days of that one. Now, I realize he has not waived his right to a speedy trial, so we could be in court by the end of this year in fall for the actual trial. But the memberships are only gifted. You can purchase your own if you'd like, or you could gift them. We have both options. BK had a preliminary today. I think it's still going. Oh, is that the one you're talking about? The prelim. I believe it's not televised live. I believe it can be shown after the fact. So cameras are going to be there, but not live. What's that sound I was just hearing? So we'll have to hear on the Koberger hearing. I wish the judge would just rule on it and allow cameras in the courtroom. How do I get a better picture instead of a letter for my name? That's going to be through Google on your account, on your profile picture. Your YouTube account is tied to your Google account. So you can go and edit your profile and change that picture. So I just sent you a link to the burner of the court live feed, courts in Houston, Texas, if you ever get bored. Sheila says, let me take a look at the... checking the burner here. See if I can send this to my iPad without causing problems on the video. Okay, so we've got civil court, criminal court. Those are the interesting ones. Criminal court appearance policy. It is public viewing. I don't see where they say we cannot restream it.
Just so that it's not connected to the 80s, sometimes it's church related. AA or equivalent.
Okay. Seeing what the courts are showing right now.
Let's go in order, chronological order. The first mute.
Yes.
See, justice court systems, civil court streams.
A note left by the pest control manager.
Okay, so I'm just opening up different things. Sorry, I wasn't showing you what those were. Any Fulton County Judge Manning streams. Judge Manning really does not like her stuff restreamed. Really doesn't. Has a whole do not record everything. They're a pain in the butt to get permission on. And although the odds of them being upset and actually finding me and doing something about it are very low, I try to only do things where I have permission. So, Ricky, there's congratulations due. Let me see what this is. Come tomorrow will be a first-time grandpa, so I'll head to Fort Worth early in the morning. Ricky, congratulations. That is awesome, being a grandpa. I'm not a grandpa yet, but, could happen the next several years. Give me five years, it might be there. So when is going to be the verdict? Hopefully soon, Sportsman 700. They've deliberated for 5.5 hours, roughly, and we're just waiting for more information. Let's see. Jury is really taking their time. As of today, cameras are allowed in Koberger proceedings, but the judge reserves the ability to pull cameras if determined that it will interfere with a fair trial for Koberger. So they're allowed, but they're not allowed to live stream, though, right? So currently they're not live streaming. Baby Kitty says, recovery addict and sentencing. Why do some judges sentence that day and some judges sentence another day? Baby Kitty, if there is a mandatory minimum or if there's a mandatory sentence, say like if you get convicted of capital murder and there is a mandatory life in prison, there's no need to do a pre-sentencing screening to go through all the different stuff and considerations about sentencing when there's only one option. And so if there's only one option, they'll do that. Otherwise, they'll do a pre-sentencing screening conference or something. They have like 1,000 forms to fill out. They do have a ton of forms, but most of them they can set aside. Like 3 of the 4 or something they can set aside. They only need to fill out a certain set of them. Daryl Brooks will be appearing in July live. Is that on the charge of running people over with that car? I mean, running his girlfriend over, right? Or is this the gun charge? I already got my suitcase unpacked for Sarah Boone. We're still on verdict watch. Don't know how long this is going to last. We really thought it was going to be quick this morning. Had some good conversation this morning as we talked over the case with got a lot of different viewpoints on this. Any update on BA's situation? Has his brother made any progress? You talking about Zachariah Anderson? That process is very slow. The appeals process is very slow. I know they're waiting for transcripts of everything because they need the transcript to be done, which takes months sometimes to get completed. So that has to be done, and then they get one shot at this. So they have to put everything together in a nice big bow. So they're making sure they do a thorough job. They're not rushing it, and so they're going to do the appeal that way. But I don't know what the time frame is. I felt bad for being entertained during the Darrell Brooks trial, but couldn't help it. He was a piece of work, that's for sure. Sometimes you just have to laugh a little bit and think, I'm glad I'm not that crazy. Have I shared my viewpoint in this trial? I have, Nicole. I personally believe it would be very difficult for me to convict him. Primarily, it would be difficult for me to convict him on the perjury charge because I would have to know what he knew or hear what he saw, and even the actual wording of the interview and where he said what, it seems like they selected a little piece out of context to use against him, and so for me it's very difficult for me to say yes, he's guilty of perjury. And if I can't convict him of perjury, if I can't say yes, you lied about how many gunshots you heard or whether or not you saw kids running out of the building, then it seems almost impossible for me to go to the next charge and say, because of what you knew, because you lied about it, you should have done something different than what you did. And so if I can't get him on the perjury, I can't get him on the others, and I can't get him on the perjury. I can't put myself in his head. I can't say that, yes, I know he saw those kids running from the building, or yes, I know he heard and registered more than that. Even though their sounds may have been occurring around him because of the situation, I don't know what he heard, and I can't do that. I can't make that call. Tilana Stander, hello from South Africa. Good to have you here. Welcome. We are on verdict watch. We're hoping to have a verdict here soon. Let's see. Ivan, did you want to try to use Zoom? Might have to. Let's see. I cannot switch to StreamYard during a broadcast because StreamYard is an encoder itself, and I'm using an external encoder, so I can't switch to an internal encoder and keep the stream up. Nicole says, agree. I feel the same way. I changed my view since before the trial. Nicole, the way we heard this story, like most of us, when we heard this event and first became aware of Scot Peterson, was in the news, and it was basically portrayed as there was a school resource officer with a gun who stood around during all this. And that was basically the whole story, how it was wrapped up. And of course that story gets eyeballs and it sells papers, and it gets people talking and gets people listening, and so it was very captivating that way. But unfortunately, I think that wasn't the complete story. And the more I listen to this and the more I analyze it, the more it's difficult for me to say we should convict. Haven't noticed anything on the record establishing subject matter jurisdiction. Thanks, Content Lazani, for that. Tommy says, I've been on StreamYards before. I love StreamYards. For bringing guests in, it's fantastic. And with the program I've got, I think I can bring up to 10 guests on at once, which is really cool. It's a great program for that. It's not as easy to use with a switcher.
Because he's the guy.
That I have, the setup that I have right here. It sort of depends on you having a computer, and it wants to do all the work for you. But when I want to control everything externally, it doesn't play as nicely. Sarah Boone does start July 24th. July 24th will be in Orange County for that one. And I believe is there a hearing on the 18th? That's the last pre-trial hearing. I think it's just a status hearing.
Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
Okay. Can't wait to go to that trial live. It is going to be great. It really is. I'm not sure if they'll let me go live. We're still working on trying to get approval to be press on that. So we shall see. Okay. Trial starts on your birthday. Happy birthday, Nancy. That's going to be awesome. Dutchy says, I was gifted a membership before. Now I want to buy my own, but cannot figure out how to do it. YouTube only allows me to give membership to others. It's supposed to be getting easier, Dutchy. I will say if you're doing this on an iOS device, they're going to charge you more than if you do it on either a Mac or an IBM or PC computer.
I'm not a camel.
Sorry, IBM is really old. For some reason, Apple wants their cut of any purchase you make on an iOS device. So the price is increased by YouTube by 30%. It doesn't change what comes to the creator or anything else, but it just changes how much comes out of your pocket for the same benefit if you do it through iOS. No, Ivan's still not a member. Not for a lack of trying, Cece. There's been a great amount of effort. What case is Camel from? Camel is from the Mark Jensen trial, where the judge was asking for a break. Basically, we were watching videos. There were videos from 10 years before, the last time that the trial had occurred, because this was a retrial. And so we're watching these old videos that had a big old 48 hours time mark on it. And the judge was like, I'm exhausted. You guys, I need a break. I'm not a camel. And so we clipped that little bit. It was pretty funny.
I'm not a camel.
I'm not a camel. Cachette, good luck. If you're going to be under sedation, please call us as soon as you wake up, because those videos are hilarious. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear from you. No, I hope it goes well. That does not sound fun. Not fun at all. But hopefully they do a great job and you'll be out of pain. Generally, a tooth being pulled means it hurts right now. I showed my age as well, and the fact that you got the IBM reference shows your age. So we're all in the same boat together. I could have said Commodore 64 or Apple IIe or something else and really dated myself. Did the jury visit the school? This jury did not. I believe the jury during the sentencing phase of the shooter's trial did. The school building itself, the 1200 building, particularly where all the shooting occurred, has been preserved. There's a fence around it. The building's been locked down. It has not been cleaned. It has not been repaired. It has not been used at all since that day. It's been preserved as a crime scene. And once these trials are over, meaning the shooter's trial, which is over, and this trial is over, it's scheduled to be demolished. And they'll tear it down and build something else in its place. If you remember the pictures of the west side of the building, some of the pictures, the big poster pictures that the defense showed, were taken sort of in current day, and you can see the fence around the building that's still there to this day. Okay. Melody, welcome. Good to have you here. If the jury requests go into the school, can they? No. The judge gets to decide if they can do that. The judge is the determiner of whether or not evidence can come into trial, and this has been brought up pre-trial that it might be beneficial for the jury to go and view that, and he looked at it and ruled and said no, it would not, and so they will not be going to that scene. I think honestly it would be more prejudicial because you're literally walking down hallways that are still stained with blood and windows with bullet holes and classrooms with broken windows. It is quite prejudicial, I think. It would be very difficult to walk through that and feel like I can vote not guilty on this. You'd feel a responsibility to do something about it. Tia Maria, I don't know why. Make sure the gift setting is turned on correctly on this channel. It may happen eventually. I'm sorry. I'm glad you got gifts on Brandy's channel, though. That's awesome. We are going to have a couple addicts at the Sarah Boone trial, and possibly me as well. That's still a possibility as we're trying to get all the pieces put together. But let's see. Did I get the picture you sent, Tamara? Did you just barely send it? Because I got a lot of texts in the last few minutes. Oh, there it is. Oh, the bear. Yes. Okay, this is what you don't want to see when you're out fishing. Tamara, do I have permission to share this on the live stream? Is that all right? And Tamara told us earlier that while she's listening, she is painting a picture of a bear. See if she's okay with me sharing this first. Hope we get a verdict today. Me too. I'm hoping it's actually soon. I was expecting it to be right after lunch. Remember, we've already gone longer than it took the jury to convict Darrell Brooks on 97 counts. You can share the dog video anytime you'd like. Okay, I'll see if I can do that. That's a little harder to share because of how it's configured, but the judge did deny the motion to tour the school to this jury. Yes. So I guess they could possibly tear it down now, but it's gone longer than Alec Murdaugh and Zachariah Anderson. I got it, Tamara. Do you want me to share it? I've got it here. Let me know if I can share it. Yeah, we wish we could. We tried to. Okay, we got the go ahead from Tamara. Awesome. We wish we could know what the jury was thinking, or just be a fly on the wall and say, what is up in there. But okay, this is the bear that Tamara is painting right here. There it is. Imagine fly fishing and turning around, looking upstream, and seeing this guy, thinking, lunch. Awesome picture. Great. You have much more skill than I do. I struggle with getting the proportions right on a stick figure, but that's a beautiful painting. And I'm curious if this is if this is just completely freehand, or if this is from an image or an experience or something you've seen yourself. That would be interesting to know. All right. It is awesome painting. Fur is gorgeous. Fur is not easy to paint. It is not. There's some definite skill there. If it's a hung jury, will they keep the building up until a retrial is complete? They could, Nancy, because the next trial, the judge may rule differently on that. So, yeah, it could just prolong that forever. His eyes look right through you. That's because he's looking at you like your dinner. LJM says, amazing painting. I saw a bear earlier this week. Hopefully it wasn't looking at you and licking its lips. It's my passion. That is awesome. Adriel Hillis, if your video is blurry, do a quick refresh. We are pushing out an HD video here, so it might be on the YouTube side. Am I able to share short videos from your burner? Yes and no. Yes, I can. I'll have to get rid of the timer because it would require the connections that the timer is using to play from my burner phone. They're a little more difficult that way. ZA was 10 hours. How did I forget that? And yes, it's freehand. That is amazing. It's like a Bob Ross painting. Way to go. If there's a retrial, will it be the same judge? It depends on the schedule. I don't know. It could be, and it might not. If they go to retrial and that judge is busy, it might be assigned to a different judge. Are there any teachers on the jury? I don't think there are any police officers on the jury. I can tell you that much. Pauline, thank you for gifting a membership. That one went to Charlene O'Donnell. As far as teachers on the jury, I don't know the makeup. That would definitely be impactful. A teacher, a police officer, a principal, something along those lines. Weebug is trying to get Ivan a gift. Let's see if it works. Gifted 5 memberships again. Megan Easton, Baby Kitty, Tamara Guthrie, Tamara Owen, and Laurie. All gifted memberships by Weebug. Ivan, I don't know how. I don't know how you're not winning this. Is there a way to get a notification when the verdict comes in? Laurie, yes, there is. There are a couple things you can do. There are a couple channels on Twitter that you can set notifications up for, that when a verdict is received, a tweet will come out and you'll get that. I can also do a community post on our page, on this page, when a verdict comes out, and we can say, hey, we're live with the verdict. But that sort of depends on you having the notifications turned on for YouTube and the notifications turned on for this channel. You need both turned on for that to work. Check the burner, says Sandy. Let me take a quick look. Oh, my burner is not charging. That could have been very bad. Okay. I paint as well, freehand while listening. There's a still life. Let me, can I share that one as well? DSN just gifted 5 memberships as well. The Brown Barn, congratulations. The Maria, Kitty Cat, LMJ 9691, and American Dreamer, all gifted memberships by DSN. Sorry, yeah, DSN. Did I say the Brown Barn? Sorry about that. DSN gifted 5 memberships, and it went to those people right there. Let's see. Judge said until 5 p.m. today, so they have they have a couple more hours to deliberate. It's official, says Weatherwatch. Ivan Victor does not have gifts turned on. Squirrel. Ivan, we're going to have you check that setting again. I don't know why. Tons of gifted memberships. You guys are incredibly generous. Thank you so much. And let's see, did we see get a response about the painting here? Sandy, did you say if you wanted me to share this one or not? I'm impressed with anyone that can do something very detail oriented while focused on a trial. I'm basically glued to the trial. That's all I can do.
Alex stole it as well.
Yes, please, says Sandy. Okay. Sounds good. Let me pull that one up. This, I believe, if I remember correctly, my art teacher would tell me this is a still life photograph. Just 1 minute here. Yep, it's coming up right side up. That's good. There we go. This is from Sandy. Sandy sharing this picture that she says she also paints while she listens. For some reason, I'm thinking lilacs. Is that what sort of plant makes those blossoms? Is that a hydrangea? Lilac? Correct. It is a still life. What is the burner phone number? Type !burner in chat and it will pop up the burner phone number. Nancy Araro just gifted 10 memberships. That went to, let's see, Pam D, Michelle Ellis, Gwen's Teddy. Yeah, it's struggling here. Wait. Oh, there we go. Tammy Coleman, Sakura Mary, Jay Thomas, Ann Rutherford, Carmen, Baby Bear just upgraded in the middle of that to the member on the jury. And then Jean Jacobs and Brenda Jacobs were gifted memberships by Nancy as well. Thank you all. Congratulations. Baby Bear, good to have you on the jury. Thank you for upgrading your membership. And Nancy, thank you so much for the generous gifts. All of you have been just incredibly generous here during this as we wait for trial to continue. What if hydrangeas? Hydrangea. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. I will say I have one of these plants. Beautiful flowers. It is one bush, and it does bloom in multiple colors. I mean, like, I don't have the full range of like the rainbow colors there, but I have like 3 different, definite different colors of blooms that happen on the same bush, which is interesting. I'll have to take some pictures. It's not blooming right now. I think it's past the bloom time. Whose artwork was that? The hydrangeas was Sandy. Sandy right here. That's Sandy. But she paints as well while she listens. I think I'm getting a lot of painting pictures right now. Let's see. Here's some artwork from Ricky Watson. Give me just 1 minute. He said I can share this as well. It's a little bit different style of artwork, but for those who know. So give me a second here. Let me get this pulled up. Show and Finder. Okay, here we go. Here's some artwork courtesy of Ricky Watson. Brand new hat. The shaping of a hat is art. It is not. I guess it's a little bit science, but actually shaping a hat and then trimming it, and especially some of those felt hats and things, that it is not an easy thing to do. And it's not something that, it has to be, sized to your head and everything else. It's sort of unique to each person. Let's see. Weatherwatch says, I sent my painting I did to the burner also. Weatherwatch, let me take a quick peek here. Let's see. See, I've got a video I can play the audio from of a parrot. Hang on 1 second.
Do you think of the DRA?
That's the parrot talking to me. That's awesome. I'm not seeing Weatherwatch. Are you pulling my leg about your painting? I don't see it here. Rosie Gia gifted 1 Recovery Addict membership, and that went to So Done With It. Congratulations, So Done With It, and thank you very much, Rosie. I appreciate that. Let's see. Sandy does photography as well. Many awarded photos. I would show you some of the pictures I took last week. I did some really good. Personally, my photography. I'm not very good on like group photography. Like here's a high school graduation picture or something like that, or prom pictures. I'm not good at doing that. I love to catch candids. I like to catch people in their natural state, showing emotion without knowing that they're being photographed. And so to do that, you need to be a little bit stealthy and have typically a zoom lens, a nice zoom lens. And I got a ton of those over the weekend with the youth group. Unfortunately, they were youth, and I can't show them without the parents' permission. So I got some where the kids were picking flowers and I've got this girl. She's from Hawaii or Polynesia, somewhere in that area, and she's got this flower. She's got a flower in her. And the focus was just incredible. The crisp, clean picture on the eyes. It was just the sparkle was amazing. The bokeh was perfect. Karen says, I paint ceramics. Is that a saddle blanket in the background, says Weatherwatch? RA I haven't got a membership pending. That may be why he can't get gifted a membership. Just a thought. I don't know. He might have to call help support on YouTube and see. Let's see. Dutchie is going to show something for Diet Coke Mama through me. Let's see. Let's see, Dutchie, what are you sending? 1 second. Let's see, Tish. Oh, Tish, I'm not even going to ask. I'm going to share this one. This is incredible. This particular piece speaks to my soul. And you'll see here in just a moment why. Because when I see this particular image, it reminds me of what I'm capable of, and my skill level, and what I can become with practice. That's from Tish. This is her best artwork. Thank you very much, Tish, for that one. You're hilarious. That is great. We have an art gallery going on. Yes, is that a Stetson? Nice hat. Let's see. The phone is blowing up. I wish I could tell you. Let's see. Caper Holly, Caper 000. Just wanted to show off my view here on Cape Breton Island. You can share if you'd like. I'd like. Another picture just came in as well. What was canceled? Try again. There we go. Okay, so this one's from Holly. I have to turn my face off on here so you can see everything, get the full view. Yeah, that would just suck to wake up to that view every morning. That is absolutely beautiful. That is not fair. That is not fair at all. Wow. Holly, that is beautiful. Okay. This reminds me, when we first started, we were doing what was it? What did we call it on Saturdays? Basically, we determined that listening to court every day and listening to murders and trials and the worst of society, it sort of weighs you down. And so we do a recovery weekend where we would share. It started with pictures of pets, and it got to the point where we were getting 75 to 100 pictures of pets every Saturday for a quick live stream. Let's see, from Unholy Saint. Okay, I'm going to assume, guys, I'm just going to assume if you sent this here that I'm going to have permission to share this. So hold tight here. This one's from Unholy Saint. Looks like, is this pen? Looks like a pen drawing or pencil drawing. I cannot tell which. My eyes are not that good. This is the Recovery Addict Art History Chat Museum. Welcome. Free admission today only while we're on verdict watch. Let's see. Gail says, I feel rather inadequate. I have no discernible talents. Just because you can't paint does not mean you have talents. I can tell you that there are people in this chat room, this community, that are incredible at making people feel welcome. And that is a talent. When so many people come into a chat room or a page on YouTube and expect hostility, and even sometimes bring hostility and are treated in response with kindness, just unbelievable. You guys are amazing people, and just because you can't do artwork does not mean you don't have talent. Let's see. This is funny. Eddie said, you don't have slow mode on, do you? Ivan Victor would be the only one affected. Apparently, we've given memberships to everybody else. That's awesome. I think I've got a couple more, and they're flowing in right now. I've got, oh my goodness, I've got more than I can show right now already. Let's see. Okay. We've got diamond painting. A nice little, I think that's a whitetail in velvet, just on the side of the road. Okay, I need to find a better way to show these. I just hate drinking my coffee and looking at that lake. Yuck, says Linda. Yeah, I hate the thought of anyone having to do that and me not getting to. That's how I feel about that. I would love to live by the water. I really would. My artwork looks a lot like Tish's, said Jill. I sent you my pointillism artwork. Wayne, let me take a look. See which one. Did I show that one already? Was that the lantern? Let's see, red pen. Red pen. This is a unique little talent here. Check this one out. So this is Red Pen's artwork, and this is painted tiles made into a little table, which just looks awesome. Red Pen, congratulations. This looks beautiful. I love it. Okay, you guys keep an eye on the verdict watch. We've got the audio turned on, so if anything happens, we'll know. There's a couple. Let's see, who was this? Somebody sent me a fox, a girl in the rain, and a girl in a red dress. Who was that? Cooking and canning is my gig, along with Jeeps. My burner phone is buzzing constantly. You guys are sending me so many pictures. How do you send a picture? You can send it to the burner phone by typing !burner. I will tell you right now, I have too many pictures to share, and it's a little cumbersome to share each one. I'm going to try to share some here as I can. Let's see. Did this one work right? Yep. There's a fox picture. We've got a diamond painting just came in. We've got. I'm falling so far behind. I particularly like this one. There's another view from a lake. Tom just sent one as well. I'm getting like a text per second. This is nuts. The burner phone is burning up. Oh my goodness. Okay. Michelle just sent one as well. Wayne. Okay, there's Wayne's. Hang on. Let me grab Wayne's. Okay, so Wayne, you sent me, these are pointillism, right? Let me see if I can show this one here. Give me just 1 second, Wayne. It's waiting. There we go. Show and finder. Okay, we'll drag this one in. This one is from Wayne right here. This is pointillism, which my understanding is each one of this whole painting is done just with dots. And so to get the darker area, you have to put dots closer together, which is, this is a ton of work. So there's no lines drawn at all. It's just one tiny little dot of ink next to another tiny little dot of ink, which is, the work is incredible. And the skill and the steady hand that's required to make that look good is phenomenal. Wayne, that is really, really cool. Here's one from TW. Thank you very much. I think that's going to go to the Sarah Boone Letter Fund, as they usually do. We'll go ahead and add that to it. Thank you very much. Future gifted a membership. I don't know who it went to. I was looking at my phone on all the texts that were coming in, so I'm so sorry I missed that. But thank you very much for that, Future. Let's see. Oops. Why did I do this? Okay, there we go. Okay, here's one. This one is Sarah Boone related. I think you guys might appreciate this one. Let's see. Sarah Boone starter pack right here. We've got the Dr. Pepper. We have the scissors, the puzzles, the suitcases, the getting drunk, and the wine. That's the starter pack. That is awesome. Future says, member for 2 months, paying it forward. Thanks to Red Pen for gifting me several months ago. Thanks, RA, for giving us all a great place to share our ideas and opinions. Appreciate that, Future. Thank you very much for gifting it forward. That is awesome. You went to Taz 2482. Okay, that's awesome. That's where the gift went. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So much talents here. You guys, I wish I could show you. I guess I could probably, let me turn up the phone and see if I can make it ring every time. Yeah, okay. These are the text messages coming through. So you'll hear the doodle-doo, doodle-doo. It's still going. So let's see. Let me go back here. There's another one. There's another one. Yep. These are, every time I get one of those, I'm getting another picture, another photo, another update of somebody's artwork. Okay, here we go. My most awarded shots. Oh my goodness. Sandy sent me some pictures that put mine to shame. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Sandy did the artwork with the hydrangeas, and let me show you just a couple just breathtaking photographs from her. There's, nothing like an evening sunset like that to just set the sky on fire. That is beautiful. Let's see, we've got some amazing clouds that will make Thomas jealous that he didn't get to see it in person. Sorry, it takes like 15 seconds to... Just got one from Adam as well. Check out these clouds. Look at that. Just, the sky is angry there. Oh. Okay, let me do one more here, Sandy. We already did sunset. Let's do this close-up of this little girl. She is cutie. And this is unlike any other verdict watch we've ever had, but it's show and tell. Yes, so just some amazing photographs. The light, I love the bokeh. It just draws your eyes right to her. The light on her hair, the colors of the dress, just beautiful. Sandy, beautiful pictures, beautiful artwork, and a couple more as well. Let's see, we've got. Here's a painting from a 5-year-old, Okay, this is a painting from a 5-year-old, and I say that because it blows away anything I could do. Let's see, right here. I could not get the leaves right on the stick, and she's got the whole parrot. that's amazing. That's Parrot Court from the 5-year-old daughter, I believe. Okay. Oh my goodness! So this is like news, current events, as well as a view mixed together on this one. My phone is going nuts. What's funny is it puts the notification right up on top of where I need to click to load things. So it's every time I get a text, it slows me down just a tiny bit. Check out this Woody car show. Look at these station wagons and the surfboards. That is just beautiful. The paragraph that went along with this one is that West Campus of Santa Barbara City College, our Woody Club, has a car show there every year. Let's see. And I didn't get a name with that one, but thank you for that. Let's see. Adam sent me one, sent me another. Hang on just one second. Let's pull up a diamond painting. I'm trying to get a little variation. This one might speak to your souls, a couple of you. A little tight. There's a diamond painting. Coffee because murder is wrong. And it's got a cat too. That was funny. That's pretty good. That's diamond painting as well. So each one of those, each colored item is a little gem, basically a little plastic imitation gem that's pasted onto an adhesive backed paper to make an image, which is a ton of work. Another view from somebody who just has a miserable morning, looking out over the water. Here we go, right here. Yeah, that sucks. I'm so sorry you have to put up with this. Deepest condolences. Seriously. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Oh, I love the water. You just can't beat it. Can't draw, so I build beadwork. Let's see. Let me see if I can draw. If we can pull up. Gonna have to edit this a little bit. The beadwork picture is not letting me do anything with it yet. Okay, here's one from Thomas. Oops, sorry. Where was I? Right here. This is the type of picture that Thomas just loves. When the sky forms that nasty little present for people. What's that called, Thomas? Is that like splitting? Is that like a one twister that splits into two down at the bottom, or is that still just forming at the bottom? Ivan's got a lake view as well. Okay, guys, I'm so far behind. I apologize. There's no way, unless Verdict Watch goes like 3 or 4 days, I'm not going to catch up on these pictures. This is Ivan's view. Yeah, that's miserable as well. I'm so sorry, good friend. Your patience is unbelievable. Okay, let's see. Who was this? Oh, this is Maggie. Maggie Carr, who got us in touch with Nicole from the Letitia Stout trial. Maggie's picture right here. Wait for it. It's trying to send. Oh my goodness. So here's another beautiful, beautiful image. Love that one. That's from Maggie. My burner phone is about to crash. It's going slower and slower as it's trying to load all these pictures. Okay, let's see. Here's one. View from on top of a mountain. This is off a deck. I like this one because it's from within the deck. It sort of really puts you in the picture. And this is from, let's see. This is from Tom R33. Just amazing. Top of the world, top of the mountain. Man, how do you guys, honestly, okay, stop for just a second. You have to hold up on the burner phone for a minute. For those of you that have this view of just the incredible view of nature out your back door, why are you watching me? Please let me know. I would not be watching me if I had the view you had. These are incredible. This one here, let me load this one up. Man. Okay, this one is, this is Minsky right here. Feet in the sand, just nothing but glass, water all around. Okay, here's a good one. I've got to share this one. I've got to share this one because, let me, hang on one second. This is from Diet Coke Mama, so hold on just one second. And the best part about this is some artwork she made. She was asked to make a Minecraft cake for my son, and this was the cake. So not only did I get to see this in person and see that it's absolutely incredible and matches exactly the Minecraft image, but it tastes amazing. It tastes amazing. Diet Coke Mama happens to be a gourmet chef in hiding, and let me just say, Mrs. R.A. cinnamon rolls get a run for her money when Diet Coke Mama makes cinnamon rolls. I remember that. Okay, we've got a couple more of my quality, just real quick, as we're waiting for Judge to come back with something. So we've got some more elaborate landscape type stick figure images. Right there. This reminds me of some of the evidence that's been presented at some trials that we've seen. Let's see. Oh, man. Baby Bear, tell me, is this oil painting? This is Baby Bear's image right here. Is that an oil painting? I have to go full screen on this to see. I think it's oil. Oil on canvas. Yeah, definitely oil on canvas. And just incredible. I love being able to see the detail, the brush strokes. Man. I can't even click. We've got some crochet artwork. This is some serious skill as well. I think my computer's going to be full once it's done downloading all these images. There we go. So here's the throw on the back of on the couch doing crochet. It looks like are there three things? You've got the bottom, you've got the back, and then another one on the top of the back. So that's a lot of crochet work. That is many hours. Dedicated hours of crochet work to do that one. And that was, let's see if I see. I don't have a name on that one. I don't have the name. Let's see, Bad Juju. I'm trying to get, this is a 12-year-old daughter, man. It's, let me see if I can rotate this picture because it's coming in sideways. 1 second. I'm so far behind on images. Okay, there we go. Save. Okay, so this is from Bad Juju from your 12-year-old daughter, right? It's going to show it funky. Oh, no, it showed it right. There you go. Looks like a crying angel. Just amazing. Incredible artwork. At 12, I had zero skill when it came to anything artistic. And arguably, I still do. Okay, Adam, I'm trying to get to yours. Hang on just one second. Oh, my goodness. Love this image. Okay, this is some photography skill. Tight. Here we go. From Adam Nusky. Check that one out. And this is the moment. This is the split second as you see the eagles, or I think it's an eagle. Yeah, it's an eagle. The eagle's feet are forward. The second before it reaches down and snatches a fish off the top of the water. So that is just the timing, being able to get the focus, because this happens quick, really fast. I mean, the fish is surprised by how fast it happens, and you have to be able to catch this with the focus and the lighting and everything and the timing with the camera. That's impressive. Great job, Adam. That was awesome. Okay. Man, I'm seeing so many. I have pages and pages of pictures now. I cannot keep up. Oh my goodness. Sando Rocks. This is Nevada, right? Hang on one second. Let me see if I can get this Nevada picture pulled up. That's just beautiful as well. Love the reflection, the glassy water doing the perfect reflection. So it's almost one of those pictures you could flip upside down and it would look just as detailed with the way the reflection works on the water. Just awesome. Okay, so you guys are much more talented than I am. The phone is still blowing up. And I now have hundreds of messages which I have not read. We'll see if I can go to this. We've got amazing pictures of kids. We've got amazing outdoors, Jeeps. We've got canning, a sandwich, spicy maple bourbon pickles on a plate, sort of like a gourmet spread of food. We've got boxers, tiger crochet purses as well from Coop Sweets and Gifts. And people that say they just doodle, and their artwork is just amazing. Oh, let's see. Man. Okay, so I've got so many. Look at this. I'm not sure if you can see this, but this is since lunch. I've got pages and pages of text with images, and some of them have 3-4 images on each one. Just unbelievable. Amber made a baby shower cake that looks like a little baby gremlin. Let's see if I can show this one. All edible, even the ears. So let's see. Red Pen says you can erase mine now. Which one was yours? I'll have to dig down and find it. Just amazing artwork. We're gonna have to find a better way to do this. Let's see. Who is stealing my name? Whoever has Ivan Victor's alt is not me. All right, own up. Who's doing it? We have an Ivan imposter. If it gets gifted a membership before Ivan, that would be sad. Anyway, good fun. Thank you for all the pictures. I realize we have more pictures than we could share. There are many, many incredible pictures that I didn't get to share, and they're still coming in. They're still flooding the burner phone. I draw stick figures. I click buttons. Really, I have nothing in the way of artwork. I can play the guitar a little bit, but that's about it. Can we get the jury deliberation timer up? Yes, let's do that. That's actually what we're here for. Thank you, Mandy, for getting us back on schedule. Nice little break there as we waited, but we're back now. Still, nothing has happened there on the trial. We're up over 6 hours, 6 hours and 17 minutes now. Why is it every time I type shot, it gets changed to something else? Sorry about that. Ruth, I guess the computer knows better. It just corrects you. Thank you, Baby Bear. Thanks for everyone who sent pictures, honestly. First of all, thanks for being, taking the time to create something like that. I think creating things makes the world a better place. So even if you only share it with, immediate loved ones in your home or something, that is awesome. Sharing it with us, that's another level of awesome. Thank you for doing that. Creation is awesome, and you guys are very talented that way. It's from Genoa, Nevada. That was the picture, the mirror image one. That was beautiful. Let's see, I have a bunch of albums on my Facebook wall. The people could put the real names so we could go look at those instead of loading up all the burner phone. The burner phone is still being loaded up. More beadwork just came in. Just lots and lots of stuff. How did this start again? I don't remember where we started, Rudy. We typically get off the rails. That's why we have the sound effect from what's her name? I can't remember. Jury. Not that one. It's the other one. It's not relevant. NR. Where's NR? Can't even find it anymore. You're talking about things that are not relevant. That one. That's why we have that one, because we get off base several times.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Judge Manning. But something came up and I showed a picture and then it got out of hand. Ivan's busy with pictures and Ari's busy with pictures and Ivan got hijacked. We can turn a thread in the Facebook group. Katrina, that's probably the best thing to do.
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
For those that aren't or have the ability, this would be great to share on Facebook. And Katrina, if you can sort of head that up, and we'll make a thread where we can post pictures like that on Facebook. There's the link to Facebook is right here. This is the Recovery Addict Facebook page. It allows us to share some stuff that's not necessarily court related. And I think if we have a link like that specifically dedicated to this, not its own dedicated post, we don't want like a million different posts with pictures on it, but a link like that would be great. But there's the link. You can go to Facebook. If you're joining for the first time, this is very important. When you're joining, you can't just say join group and be done. There are some questions on there. They sort of like help weed out the bots that try to join and just send spam on Facebook. And so you have to answer the questions. And one of them is like, what trial did you first watch with RA or something like that? And do you agree to follow the rules? They're easy questions. This shouldn't take a lot of effort, and you don't need to phone a friend. But you do need to answer the questions just so we can make sure it's not a bot that's trying to pretend to be a human that just wants to get in there and steal people's information. Please answer the questions on Facebook. Thank you, Ari. Yes, let's please do that. That makes it so much easier on the mods over there. I have not yet got the really as a soundbite, Mary. We'll have to get I think when I went back and played it, it sounded like the judge was talking over part of the word, which would mean if I played it, it would sound really weird. So I don't think we'll be able to use that really. Let's see, verdict or jury question. We had a jury question earlier, or two of them back to back. It was almost 2 hours ago. That was before lunch, and now we're waiting to see if we get a verdict today. Okay. Katrina started a thread on Facebook. Post away. That would be great. You can share even if you shared it here already. What more do you need to see? Is Ivan wearing a mullet acceptable? That's the only way we get Ivan, is wearing a mullet. Oh my goodness. Wow. This one's got some spunk in him, Ivan. they're saying their picture works when highlighted. So. Erica says, okay, I'm behind. Why do I feel attacked with the Sarah Boone starter pack? I love Dr. Pepper, wine, puzzles, and traveling. So does Sarah Boone. That's all I'm saying. That's all we're saying. Kenny Official, good to have you here. Dinah, do miss your courthouse. I'm sorry. I'm sure we'll get you back. We'll get you back here one way or another. Membership is pending. Woot. Tammy, hope that works. A couple people have had some trouble with YouTube taking forever to process that. So we'll see. If the picture works, you know they're a fraud. Joke's on them. Hey, Shells, welcome. Yeah, we still are waiting. We're still on verdict watch. Nothing yet. Let me do a quick check of the interwebs, see if we have anything as far as announcements coming. Oh, hey, look at that. We've got something. We've got something. Something's happening really quickly. VC, I think you called it.
Got it? Okay.
This is live from the courtroom right here.
Bring the jury.
Watch the reporter get all dolled up, ready for her picture. No, I think she's actually the photographer. Don't think she knows she's live. Must be a little chilly there in the courtroom. I think even though it's in Florida, the courthouses are kept refrigerated. Oh yeah, court. That's why we're here. Coming up on 6.5 hours. There's that lavender. It's looking sort of blue, but a lavender suit jacket. We haven't heard yet. I'm checking online to see if we've got any notifications. Let's see. Not seeing anything. Prosecution's isn't that the guy on the prosecution? Oh no, two guys with lavender suits. One in purple. And the true lavender is up there on the prosecution's table. I thought for some reason that was him, but that's an older version of him if it is. So we're waiting. Either we've got a questions or a verdict. We're hoping it's a verdict. Man, there are lavender suits everywhere. Why is everyone wearing purple? Is this like a Parkland purple type thing? Is this the school color? I wore my purple. This is for ECU, the Pirates. I didn't realize I was participating. Even, man, there's a ton of purple there. The color is off. I do think the white balance is off. We've got a little bit of yellow on the walls that should be white. I think they saw me and decided to match my outfit since we were live before they were. But you got Scott over there in, or sorry, not Scott, but you've got Mark Eiglash in a purple tie. There seems to be purple everywhere in this courtroom. Purple is the new white. It may be a verdict. We may be. I'm watching. See, check the burner. Don't read out loud. I've devolved a security phrase for the real Ivan. Thank you, Ivan. We'll need to know when it's really you. Okay, sounds good. I won't read it out loud. Even has the same running shoes on as the attorney I noticed yesterday. This is pretty interesting. I'm curious about the purple particularly. And Mark has his suit looks. Is there like purple lighting in the courtroom, where everything just has a little purple hue to it. I think it's another question. According to Court TV. Thank you, Nick, for that. Let's see. Brown wall has purple hue also. I think there's some lighting issues. They're LSU colors. And Sandy's like, I just realized I'm also wearing purple. Yes, my shirt is purple. It is quite purple. It actually looks a little more vibrant. I think the contrast is turned up a little too high on my camera. Because I'm processing the image through a couple different systems, it loses some color. So I have to do some overcorrection on the front end of it to get the color to stay sort of true. And I think I've got the gain turned a little bit high. I don't think I'm as burnt as I look in the picture, for starters. I feel burnt, but I don't think I look as burnt. Mark's suit has a slight purple sheen. It is a question, says Selena K. Maybe this question will be more insightful than the previous two. If this is the verdict, I think we're going to be waiting another day. Thank you, Sarah. I love this shirt. I've liked purple pretty much all my life, but this is the color of the local school as well. And so I get to wear it and sort of represent the school at the same time. No verdict, but we believe this is a question. The court usually gives a half-hour heads-up warning for the verdict. Typically, there are some courts that don't. We've had a couple where it just happens, and you're like, everyone's rushing back to the jury room or rushing back to the courtroom. KT just gifted a membership because that's what we do today. Thank you, everybody. Tons of memberships have been gifted today. And KT, that one went to Emily Looney. Emily Looney, gifted a membership by KT. Thank you. I'm wearing my LSU purple shirt, says Julie. Cruft's Legacy says, although it's not correct to do it, if I was on the jury and leaning guilty, I would have to look at the sentencing guidelines, as I wouldn't want the chance of sending him down for a long time. Yeah, they're told not to, but I hear you. You have that, if I do this, then what? And I can see that. Why would I would want to know what the result of my actions were? I mean, if I say that he's guilty and he gets put to death, and I don't feel as guilty of death, do I change? Wow. Yeah, that's tough. Lael also gifted a membership. Thank you very much, Lael. That one was gifted to Army Mom 07. That's awesome. And Flobby Jobby comes in with a 4 months a membership mark. Thank you very much for 4 months of support. Not a new member. For some reason, YouTube calls you a new member, but we can see from the courthouse color that you have been a member before. Lots of purple out there. Lots of purple. Purple Rain, artist formerly known as Prince. Can't believe this is even a question. Gordon, should I mention my purple boxers? Probably not, Gordon. That would be like a TMI at that point. But thanks for bringing it up. Let's see. LSU men's basketball won the College World Series last night. Such an awesome game. Okay, so it may be as a result of that, people watching the game celebrating the win and the victory. The judge, I think, is a sports fan here as well. If he's not guilty, can he still be sued in civil court? Yes, he can, Tamara. He can, where the threshold is lower. So you can be found not guilty criminally and liable civilly. Obviously, in civil court, it wouldn't have prison time, but it could have a financial penalty associated with it. I think Court TV was saying that they believe this is a question. That's what we're waiting for. What do you think it cost him for Mark to represent him, Ari? KR, I'm wondering if it cost him anything. I'm wondering if it's being covered by the union. A lot of times, police officers, anyone in law enforcement, may be members of a union or have legal services provided for them. So it could be a lot of people pooling their dues every month that's paying for his defense. just signing in, still deliberating. That's our understanding. We think there's still a question, which means there's still some more deliberation to go. It makes me wonder if they're even going to get a verdict tonight.
What more do you need to see?
What more do you need to see? I've told you, so many verdicts come in on a Wednesday. It may happen. It was against the Florida Gators, so I highly doubt it. So we're in Florida country, so they're not going to be celebrating LSU there. I wonder if is it Marjorie Stoneman Douglas? What are the school colors there? Okay. Burgundy and silver. So that can't be it. I don't know.
Alex stole it as well.
We all woke up and thought, hey, purple would look good today, and it did. See, Matthew Harris made it back in chat. He's been a busy man today. Thank you. It was great to talk to you earlier today, Matthew. Does that lawyer look like Martin Short, or is it just you? Yeah, it can't be like Team Purple because there's purple worn on both sides. Scot Peterson's not wearing purple. He's wearing a red tie. You can see from his hands here that he's probably pretty nervous. We don't need Dr. G to tell us that. Anyone in his situation would probably be a bundle of nerves. That's what you meant. Gotcha. More questions, Tracy, or a single question right now. Look it up, and the school colors are like dark red and silver. Matthew, you're a gentleman and a scholar. Tons of respect, and super incredible. Your presence on live television is amazing. Let me just say, the podcast was great. Yeah, he's basically praying right now. Hearing it's another note from the jury. I wonder if the jury's going to come out and try this and say that they're hung, because that would come out in the form of a note, or when the judge calls them out to question them, which they don't like doing. They don't like interrupting the jury. Once they start deliberating, the judge is like, hands off. It's like that. The ball is finally in their court. Judge has very little work to do at that point. It becomes almost a sideshow. Let's see. How many years is he facing? Up to 97. Looks like the judge is walking in right now. Let's see. There he is. We've got audio turned on. Just waiting for sound. Here we go.
Today, you good? Okay. I'm going to go back on the record. This is State versus Scot Peterson, 19-7166 CF10A. I have Ms. Gomes, Mr. Kilwer, and Mr. Klinger present for the state. I have Mr. Igosh present with Mr. Peterson, who likewise is present. We are outside the presence of the jury. The jury has sent me the jury inquiry form. They've checked the box request to view evidence, and they've written as follows. The jury would like to request the disk password to review state's evidence.
Bring the jury.
It looks like E5, a red hard drive which has password protection enabled. Let me try that again. The jury would like to request the disk password to review state's evidence E-5, a red hard drive which has password protection enabled. Is that what you were talking about earlier?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Mr. Savitsky has gone ahead, I'll show it to the defense. He has made up, and I'll show it to the court, the password along with the instructions on how to view, open it, and the disk. That's the one that has everything.
All right, so State, your request is that I send back to the jury this instruction sheet that you typed up?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
So now defense.
Sure.
Defense is looking at the the actual note. He likes to read that. And he's looking at the instructions just to make sure he's okay with the instructions. They both have to agree before an answer goes back to the jury, even though it seems very, very mundane, or they even expected this because they sent back password-protected materials.
Sure. It was Exhibit E for identification. That's what they're reading on the sticker. There's an E, and then there's a 5.
Defense has no objection.
Okay, let me see what they wrote.
Judge is going to read this. He might out their password.
Okay, so the state produced this following single sheet. It's got a password colon at the top with a whole bunch of characters. And then it says, number 1, once the hard drive is open, click on the export file. 2, in the export file, find the Avigilon player and open, Avigilon. 3, once the Avigilon player is open, there will be an icon in the top left corner of that player that will say open. 4, click on open once the window pops up. Locate the hard drive on the left-hand side. 5, click on the hard drive and look again for the export file and open. 6, in the export file, you will find the video files that will contain the camera videos. There are 6 total, each containing a total of 1 hour of footage. 7, click of the desired file, and the files will then open up into the Avigilon player. 8, you will now be able to view the videos. That's what you want me to say. In defense, you have no objection to that?
No.
Okay.
Hope it works.
State, can you print another copy of this that I can give to the clerk? Can you print another copy of this that I give the clerk? Okay, so I'm going to give the clerk the jury inquiry form. I'm going to give the court deputy the password information that the state has produced. He's going to take that back to them. I'll file a copy of it with the clerk, and then we will otherwise be in recess till we hear from the jury. If we reach 5 o'clock, I will bring them in, send them home for the night, ask them to be back here tomorrow at 9 o'clock to resume their deliberations. State, anything else you need me to address before we recess the trial at this point?
If I could, Your Honor, put one thing in the record. So the program that they're referring to there, the Avigilon program, Avigilon. Now that program allows them to open up the individual camera recordings, and it also allows them to, if they wanted to, they could create screens to compare the videos side by side. That can be like 4 or more in one particular view, just so you
Okay, I'm sure they'll figure it out, or they'll ask us a question otherwise. So, State, anything else?
Judge, should we be up here at 5 o'clock?
Yes. Anything else? Defense, anything?
5 o'clock or 6
5
o'clock?
o'clock.
5? Okay.
Yep, that was on the original schedule till 5 o'clock every day yesterday. I wanted to give them a little time to deliberate, but time doesn't appear to be of the essence at this point, so we'll stick to the normal schedule, which is 5 o'clock every day. Okay, we'll be in recess to otherwise hear from the jury, or 5 p.m.
Time doesn't appear to be of the essence at this point. Is that what he just said? He's like, apparently they're taking their sweet time deciding. So they just got the password to 4 or 5 videos, each 1 hour long. Meaning if they watched each one of them on their own, if they don't know that the capabilities of this video software, this video viewing software, if they watch each one individually, that's 5 more hours just to watch the video, if they want to watch start to finish all of it. They have the capability to play 4 or more videos simultaneously to see all the different angles and see what happens simultaneously. This would speed it up a great deal. That would mean they could watch everything in 1 hour. And they'll probably rewatch parts or stop or slow down. My work uses Avigilon. I don't know how to say this. Avigilon. They're going to take a while. It runs very slow. Oh, man. Why make it simple when you can make it complicated? It sounds like what they did was export the video from the video system and not convert it. So it's probably in the proprietary format straight from the camera system, the recording system. And a lot of those require you to use a certain software tool to access it. It's not like a video player you could just open up on your iPad. So it sounds like it's in the original format. It's probably lossless that way, meaning that it's not compressed or any more than it was when it was recorded. And so they would get the most complete and correct view by viewing it through the system, but it may not be the easiest to use either. Beverly says this is silly. They should have had this prepared for the jury. Yeah, why have it under password? That seems a little bizarre. It's like, we don't want you to watch it unless you ask us, and then we'll of course we have to let you. They're searching for him standing around doing nothing, which doesn't exist, says Content Lasagna. Yeah, this is not going to be an off-the-shelf type software tool that you would run into on a regular basis. Selena thinks this was a good move for the prosecution, or at least shows that it's good for the prosecution. MCAT, member for 5 months. Thank you so much, my friend. The next month is a new courthouse color. That's exciting for you. Why wouldn't they have the password to begin with? Why put a password on it? This is bizarre. I realize possibly it was just to make sure that maybe it was a protection for them, because the judge had ordered certain things not to be shown in the trial, and so if it was something that was going to be shown from this disc, there was that extra step you had to take, showing that this is going to be images that we don't want shared. That could be it. I believe he said 6 videos, each 1 hour, because they're all security camera video. So they grabbed a moment of time, 1 hour of video from before to after the event, and you can see it from 6 different vantage points. And you're probably not going to miss out. I don't think there's going to be a verdict today if we know they're going to watch at least an hour more footage. It's 3:32 right now, and the judge has said we're calling it quits at 5. So unless this is the last piece that just nails it for the last holdout, we're going to be back again tomorrow. Not user-friendly. The judge just says, oh, they'll probably figure it out. It's not that easy. Definitely not a shoe-in for not guilty now, says Ed. They'll be back asking for assistance. They can't. Rudy, this is like a dangerous ground. You can't send a prosecutor back into the deliberation room and say, here, let me show you, because then you have the prosecutor preparing or showing or presenting video. And even if he fast forwards or starts the video at a certain time or something, this is like grounds for mistrial. You don't get to cross the line, that threshold. That's like a no-go zone. There's a force field that prevents the officers of the court from entering that space. It's almost a sacred space where the jury gets to deliberate. It's a real thing. And a vigilon. Is it a Vigilon? Is that right, Weebug? Sherry says, I think it shows good for defense. This is taking longer than other trials that should have taken longer, but didn't, says Shani D. There were a couple of those where we were surprised with how quick the verdict came back. Does the judge have the ability to get popcorn to the jury while we watch the movies? I don't think the judge is giving them any food at all. This tells me it's heavy, not guilty, with 1 or 2 holdouts, says Ivan. Eileen says, I'm going to be joining late tomorrow. Meetings with my son's nursing team. Eileen, hope everything goes well there. We'll be here. I think we're going to hear a result here soon. If we don't hear it tonight, I think the jury at some point is going to give us an idea of where they stand. This video of sensitive material of kids being slaughtered definitely must be password protected. T. McBee, I agree. I think the reason they also put it on a red hard drive, this was the blood one. This is the one we don't want shown. This is why it's password protected. We can't have this leaking out. It can't be accidentally shown in court. I think there were many safeguards. It just seems interesting to me that by the time it was admitted into court, when it's in the possession of the court, where they have all this evidence, where they do see this, that it was still password protected there instead of letting the judge be the one that controlled who had access to it. Have we seen the videos? No, we have not. They did not show them in court. Some of them, there was audio that was played, but we did not play that. But it was, but the courtroom, the cameras were turned off. Not the cameras, but the screens were turned off, so the public could not see. What's up with the no food for them? I guess they're saving money, Rosie. You know, you got 6 people who eat. You know, that costs a little bit of money every day. You might be out $150 if you buy them meals. So this trial cost a fortune. The amount of money they're saving by not feeding the jurors is negligible. They would need a neutral person. They need a neutral person who's familiar with that software, which is very specific. It's vendor specific. Nishay, I don't think they're watching to see the kids being murdered. I think they're watching to see the timing of what was happening outside the building while things were happening inside the building. I think that's the matchup that they need to see. Do you know BK has a motions hearing today? Yes, I do, Gordon. I wish we had some more information on that. I wish that it was live streamed. I think it should be starting like in the next half hour, right? It's 3 here. It starts there at 2. I don't remember. It should be, I think it's 2 this afternoon that it starts. I don't think there's going to be a live camera feed off the BK trial. I think cameras will be there, but it's going to be delayed. That was my understanding. It's airing on Court TV in an hour, so maybe it is airing. It's not going to be what we want, right? This is all a lot of procedural stuff and motions in the beginning. It's just more delays and more little tiny details, but it's not the crime scene evidence. It's not the pleading guilty or anything else. Can they have local restaurants donating the food? I don't know if they allow that. They might be trying to determine whether they believe he knew where the shots were coming from. They aren't feeding the jury. They did not feed them lunch, Ruth. They probably don't feed them breakfast because they're supposed to eat before they come. They arrive at 9:15 in the morning. So they should have eaten breakfast already. They're released for lunch. They get an hour and 15 minutes, and then they're told to be back by a certain time. And now they're being released by 5. So it seems like the court is not helping them out at all as far as food goes, which is not cool because you have to spend all day there in court and you're getting paid, I don't know, what is it, $20 a day? And you end up spending that in food just to eat by the courthouse because you can't go home and make a sandwich. I think the judge should definitely have ponied up on this one. Right, not live. They're going to show BK after the hearing's over. If they were sequestered, they would definitely be fed. But while they were not sequestered, I think the judge says, hey, you get to be free, you get to get your own food. What do you think they're looking into at the videos? Judy, I think they're looking into timing of the different events because a lot of things happen at different places. And just knowing that there's a timestamp of when things happen is hard. With this software, they should be able to watch, tragically, they should be able to watch what happened inside the school in real time. And also be able to see what's happening in real time outside the school. And they can put things together. So it's possible that, you could be able to detect that when there were gunshots, that there are certain movements that Scot Peterson made that would say, hey, it looks like he's responding every time there are gunshots in the school, he's reacting as if he can hear them. They might be looking for something like that. Where I live, it's $6 a day. Man, you might as well just pay for the opportunity to be a juror at that point. Thal says, on a happy note, I just pulled a $58 card out of a box that cost me $80. That is awesome. $58 card. That's sweet. You have to tell me what the card was, though. Will they have to watch all 6 videos to get what they're looking for? KR, I think if they're looking for timing, they're going to have to figure out the software to watch videos at the same time. So they can say, okay, show me east view from 3rd floor and show me the outside view on the 700 side building at the same time. They have to have those two together and watch them. It sounds like the software is capable of doing it. How fast it is, I'm not sure. I've never used it myself, but I mean, I have the capability to do that here. I've done that on police chases where we have multiple feeds from different cameras where I sync them up together so we can watch in real time from different angles what the vantage point is. It sounds like they're doing something like that. $12 a day here plus gas mileage. That's South Carolina. California per diem is $15 plus 38 cents per mile. Walgreens paid time off when I had jury duty in Florida. Even if it was more than 10 days. Judy, no problem. I try to answer all that I can. I realize I miss a ton of them. Well, I can't tell you how excited to see the Pokemon card opening. I watch so many YouTube channels doing openings. I'm obsessed, says Cement. We're coming up on 7 hours of deliberation. And it sounds like at least 1 hour of video watching before they're done. It's from a game called Flesh and Blood, called as Nerve Scalpel. Basically, it lets you attack as many times as you can pay the cost, so it's a pretty crazy card. It's funny, some of these card games, this is way off topic, but some of these card games have cards like that were released early on in the game. I'm thinking like, Black Lotus or something in the Magic the Gathering, where it really changes it changes the game. If you have that card, it's like an I win card. They're worth a fortune. And some of them actually have been banned from play in competitive play. $5 per day in Jersey. $5. Kimberly, that is pathetic. When did they make that rule? I mean, $5 a day, that would not have been enough in the 1980s. What happened to the days when a jury would deliberate day and night? They were fed and housed during deliberation. Breaking at 5 and sending them home to make dinner is crazy. Lego My Briefs, they can still do that. And for some cases, the prosecution or the defense may request that the jury be sequestered, where they're basically locked up. They're under guard. They can't leave without permission of the court. And they're housed together on a floor. They rent the floor of a hotel, and that's where they stay. And so we have seen that happen occasionally. But when they're not sequestered, they're basically like Scot Peterson. When trial's not on, he can walk out of the courthouse and go wherever he wants. He's out on bond. Doesn't have to stay there because he has not been convicted. Would love to visit Florida, but I would need to be promised awesome weather. Santa Rocks, they have great weather. They also just happen to have some pretty extreme crappy weather at times. And there are some times when it may be a little bit hot and humid as well. I was in the 4 to 8 hour deliberation. Good thing I didn't bet money. SoCo Judy, you actually got till a little bit tomorrow morning for that to hit in the 4 to 8 hours. Let's see, we had one. Oh, no, I guess you don't. It will expire today because they've got a little over an hour right now to deliberate. $6 the first day, then $40 each day after. That's a little bit better. 40 is the best number I've seen here in New York. It says Rudy Patootie. Find your own parking impossible on the crowded streets. Yeah, you're going to pay more than $40 to park all day in New York by the courthouse, I think. Jenny GA voted 2 to 4 hours. I was also right around that 4 hour mark. I didn't get to vote. It doesn't let me, but that's where I was thinking. Maybe they want to hear it more than see it. Gunshot, echoes, and such. I don't know how many of the cameras, a lot of the security cameras did not have audio. They're video only. I'm not sure about these specific videos. You think nowadays that audio would be, that disk storage is so cheap now. The space it takes to store video is becoming very, very inexpensive. And the compression tools are very good, where you can keep a very good product even without the full space it would need uncompressed. So it seems a waste that we don't gather all the data we can. It's like those police officers who wear a body camera, but they only get like 320 resolution instead of 1080 or something. There's no reason to not get the best possible quality now. They're deliberating longer than they did for the actual shooter. The shooter was sentencing only, right? I don't remember how long it took for him. We also thought they had a quality radio system. Yeah, we're going to see the flaws in both the camera system and the radio system in this case. Could the jury request to stay a little longer if they feel they're close? I don't think the judge will let them because of all the other people that will affect. Kimberly, the audio inside the school would be horrific. We did hear, well, we didn't hear, we turned it off, but there was played some audio from some videos, I believe, that were filmed from inside the school, possibly by students. And yeah, not good. Could have had a really old security cameras. They're not cheap. Yeah, this isn't like going down to Walmart and picking up your own little security camera system and mounting 4 or 5 cameras around your house. KT, I hear you. This is not. It's not something that's either A, entertaining, or B, just for the curious. I realize some people need to hear that. For me, I could not get out of my head if I heard that. Linda, I agree. Between the watching the video and all the paperwork that will be required, assuming the video answers all their questions and gets them all on the same page, I don't think we're going to have a result tonight. KT, a lot of people are looking into this. A ton of people are looking into it, and unfortunately, it's a lot of tragedy. You have to have a thick skin to be able to deal with some of these facts, because it's so awful. First of all, but there are people. There's law enforcement that already does this. Looks into this and looks for lessons learned, saying what can we do better. That's how they came up. After Columbine, that's how they came up with the idea of run towards the sound. Respond and run to the sound of shooting, even if you're the first responder, that you go in, you don't wait for a stack. Caper 000 says, recovered active. This man gets 97 years for this. The NC should have gotten the death penalty, and I don't support the death penalty. If the punishment matches the crime, that would be fair. Will school law allow video or record with sound? I believe they would. Tamara, you have to realize that while your kids are at school, they're in custody of the school, and they're acting in loco parentis, which means basically they have the right to do certain things. Like your kid can be searched at school by an administrator without your permission. I think they'd be able to record something in the hallways for safety purposes without your permission as well. And if not, I think that they'd probably require you to sign a waiver allowing that when you register for school. A Vigilon is incredibly expensive, both software and cameras. The software just stinks and hasn't been updated in years. We are switching away from it, which is also very expensive. Ace of Swords. I download. Let's see, Axiom. I had some Axiom cameras. I actually bought a pallet of used cameras from the school, actually from ECU, and they have these incredible cameras that are, the dome cameras mounted in the ceiling, all weather, built-in zoom, 360-degree view, remote control, IP, just amazing cameras. I paid, I think, $10 for 15 cameras. The cameras, individual cameras themselves, run $2,100 each or something. But they do not work without the software. And you can't buy the software unless you buy the new cameras, unless you buy the cameras. And they don't sell these cameras and don't support them anymore. So I basically bought some paperweights that you can trick into using, but you lose the full functionality. The record features, the built-in capabilities weren't there. I ended up selling 10 of the cameras on eBay for like $100 or something, and I made some money off of it, but the rest we ended up throwing away. Parents sign a waiver for photos and videos in school, but it's not required to sign it, says India Arberks. Hellcat says, so I'm the least uninformed person to ask about anything right now. Little storm in Virginia, about 10 minutes. We had a major storm last night. I will say between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning. Let me see if I can share this. Man, I have to get rid of that. I took a picture. I took a picture of the storm as it was coming over our house late last night, about 1 o'clock in the morning. Is that it? Yeah. Let's send this up. This is my artwork. Come on. Okay, here we go. Oops. That's my house, and the storms were all around. The storm front was moving through. They said that we were going to have up to like 70-mile-an-hour winds and 1 inch hail. Really, it was just lightning. It was just incredible lightning. Some of it was pretty loud as well, but it was amazing. Yes, Gone Girl, I will send out a notification when the verdict is in. We'll probably stop and restart the stream just so everyone will get notification. But the lightning, we were getting 3-4 flashes per second, and so it was almost constantly just the sky was lit up. And I've only seen that 1 or 2 times before, all in Phoenix, Arizona before, which was beautiful. I was in a high-rise hotel watching the lightning storm across the city. It was amazing. What state do I live in? I'm in North Carolina, Mary. Morpheus X, welcome. We say you admitted to being an addict. Really, you just click the subscribe button. We appreciate that. Welcome. You're now one of us. It was over you around 10 p.m. Well, you're you're west of me, so it was working its way across the state. Whoa. I love that. So what do we do? Here's the question. Do we come back tomorrow morning and see if we have a verdict? Maybe they've watched all the evidence and they have a verdict in the morning. We've got basically 1 more hour before the judge sends them home for the night. We know that the judge is they asked the jurors to be back here at 5. I don't know if they're going to pull, or sorry, not the jurors. They asked the lawyers to be back at 5. I'm not sure if they're going to pull the jurors back out and send them home. Or if they're just going to send a note to them to go home because it's time to go. Melody, I would love to experience a hurricane on OBX. As long as I'm in a building that I know is safe. It's not going to flood. I'm not going to drown inside a building, not be able to get out. If I can just be safe during the storm, I don't want to be there. It's not that I want to be there during the storm. I want to be on the beach immediately after the storm. I want to be able to metal detect after all the sand is gone, after it's all washed out, or after all the sand has been washed up from all the shipwrecks that are out there. That's what I'd love to do. Love to be out there right after a storm. Whoa. Manitoba pays $80 a day for jury duty. At that point, it could be a full-time job. Where do you sign up? That's pretty good. Puerto Rico experienced many hurricanes. It's not fun to experience a hurricane when you're not in a safe place. Then it's just downright scary. Remember Myrtle Beach area after Hugo in '89? The beach was torn up. I bet some great treasures were unearthed. There are. They find gold coins. Honestly, they find gold coins. They find gold artifacts from
Are we gonna address subject matter
that were stolen from the Aztecs, and shipped to Spain, and the ships sunk. They find all sorts of things like that all the time. $50 a day. That can you imagine? This jury's getting $8 or $6 or something like that. $20 even. All right. It's nearly time. Treasure Coast in Florida after a hurricane. Yes, it actually went all the way up through North Carolina, through the point, the little sticks out of the OBX. That whole coast has just tons and tons of shipwrecks. I was just over at the beach out there by Oak Island Lighthouse in North Carolina, and did a little metal detecting out there too, but not out there. Didn't find anything fantastic, but there's tons. I think they said there were 115 shipwrecks off the coast right there that they knew about. Kitty CT says, I'm going to move back to my motherland. Oh, Canada, my home and native land. It's a good song. Do you change it to king now instead of queen? I am back and cannot feel the sides of my face. Cachette, but you're not in pain. Hopefully you're not in pain. You can't feel your face, so you're not in pain. Hopefully everything went well. Are you ready to call in and do your video debut under partial sedation? 7, I don't know. I don't think there's treasure still there. I think there may have been, but it's the idea of treasure that keeps people going back. They don't need to find it. I like jury duty. Is that weird? I liked it as well. Hey, Mrs. R.A., how are you doing? Judge swore everyone in at once. He's like, hey, we're going to get this over with. Everyone in the courtroom, raise your hand. You're all under oath now. We sing God Save the King too, but Oh Canada is our national anthem. I'm impressed you knew the words. Caper, my family sang the national anthem for Canada, England, Scotland, which was really just a drinking song, and the United States at the Scottish festivals. So we'd all dress up in our kilts and our Scottish regalia, being Scottish, of Scottish ancestry somewhat, a tiny bit. And then we'd sing all those national anthems for the Scottish games. It was a lot of fun. So we had to sing, we had to learn O Canada. The song we sang for the Scotland national anthem was O Flower Scotland, which is a drinking song. It sounds like something you would hear rising out of the stands during a football match as people are swaying back and forth. But it's pretty good. And we sort of tweaked it a little bit, so some people didn't like it because we changed the timing of the song, so it worked a little better for us. But also a fun song. I love this. I'm Scottish. Love the Scottish anthem. We have to sing God Save the King now. Yes, it's changed. The royalty gender has flipped. There was a point when I thought at the time Prince Charles was going to pass on being the king, abdicate, right, and give it to his son. I was over there in England when Princess Diana died, and so it was after that time period. I thought that was the general consensus, but it turns out no. I play canasta. Does that count? That's pretty close. It's like the Canada national anthem. Thal, you're gonna start a fight there. I can't even highlight your comments. Thal is a bit of a prankster. He's a big teddy bear as well. He gives tackle hugs. He means no harm. I've also enjoyed Jury Duty. Are you guys talking about the television series Jury Duty, or serving as on jury duty? Last case we heard 5 days of testimony in a civil case, and then they settled outside after 5 days. And then you're like, oh, by the way, you're done. Yeah. Are jurors allowed to request the chance to speak on the record after the trial? Example, if they want to put on the record their disgust at the prosecution. That is a great question. Cruyff's, I'll call you Cruffies. What do I say the name? Cruyff's legacy. Is that right? Cruyff's legacy? Now that I butchered a name like 20 times, I'm going to try to answer your question. No, jurors don't get a chance to speak on the record. They have nothing of value to present as far as evidence for the record of the trial. Their input is just on the decision that they make. Now, once the trial is over, the public wants to know what happened, and that they have the right to or not to talk to the press. And a lot of times the press would love to talk to a member of the jury afterwards and say, tell us what you were thinking. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? But that doesn't become part of the trial. Although some of the responses they make might be of interest to, say, like the defense, if there was a conviction and they're like, whoa, they thought this, this shows that something happened wrong in court. We'd like to include that in the appeal, but it doesn't become part of the record. Mrs. R.A. has a question. 1 second. Mrs. R.A. says, what is taking so long, or what do you think is taking so long? I love Allison. Love that. They were a wee bit Hill and Glen. And stood against him, proud Edward's army, and sent him homeward to thank again. What is taking so long for the jury right now? Enrique, jury duty on Prime is so good. The dude with the attachment, like the leg attachment, the portable chair things. Oh my goodness, I'm dying every time I see that. Hope there's a verdict because I'm leaving to fly to North Carolina tomorrow morning early. Portland Trailblazers TV. We'll save a spot for you. It's going to be great out here. John Thomas wants to know what's taking so long. I have an irrational fear of dentists. Thanks for that information, Tommy. I'm guessing you're going to watch another trial till Sarah Boone. Yes, Melody, we're probably going to watch some short trials, some local stuff. Well, we pick up another trial. I don't want another one with kids as a victim back to back. We try not to do that, and we've had just too many of those. There are plenty of other murders out there that we should be able to watch that don't involve kids. Trials with the kids as victims. So I'd like to take a break. Occasionally we will be doing trials where kids are victims, but we try not to do those, especially back to back. See, in that civil trial which was settled, the lawyer for the respondent asked us what we thought or how we would have voted, asked us after they settled. Probably outside of court, though, Rudy, right? The jury could still be trying to log into the software and be like, can somebody show me where the password goes? Is that a 5 or an S? Yeah. Eddie's saying after lunch tomorrow for a verdict. It's got to be unanimous. There are 6 of them in there. It's going to be interesting. There needs to be a change. This is from PFOG. There needs to be a change to what jury is allowed to receive during deliberations. If an exhibit is shown to both witness and jury, they should be allowed to review it. So you're in favor of all the exhibits. If it's presented in court, it should be available to the jury to review. Basically, anything presented in court is evidence. So that would eliminate the process of the time-honored process of admitting evidence formally into the case. because you're saying if it's shown to both witnesses and the jury. So if it's first going to be shown to the witness will then authenticate it or say, yes, this would help me in presenting something or in recounting or sharing my opinion or something like that. So it's authenticated, and then once shown to the jury, it's evidence. And that's what you want it to be like? Eddie agrees. Juror 3 knows how to operate the system. Yeah, send her in. Let's hot swap Juror 3 into the deliberations. If none of the jurors are tech savvy. Maisla, I'm not sure. It's taking a long time here. We're over 7 hours. We've got 54 minutes left before the judge is going to send him home for the night. Exhibits, not evidence. There are a lot of charges, Sharon. But look at it like this. If they're going to find him guilty for one of the people that died on the third floor, they'll most likely find him guilty for all the people that died on the third floor. Otherwise, they're going to be putting them in a position where they're saying, oh, he could have run this fast, and so the first person he might not have been able to, but the second one he would have. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to decide, how many steps he should have taken and what time he would have come around the corner and how fast he could have engaged and stopped the shooter. That puts them in a really, really unique spot where also it would be very difficult for the jurors to look out at the family members as they're reading the verdicts and saying, yes, we're going to give a verdict for this, but not your kid. Not guilty on your kid, but yes on the others. That is just the optics of that are terrible. And I don't know how a jury could do that. So I think all the verdicts as far as negligence are concerned, if you can group them into the two categories, one for the adults, one for the juveniles, I think you're going to have uniform results on all of them. Either all not guilties or all guilties. And if they're all guilty, they're also going to be also the same level, maybe a lesser included or something like that. Do we know the ages and sexes of the jurors? Judy, we do. All we have to do is just rewind to the day that they showed the jury 8 different times, and we can just look at them and probably even use facial recognition to find out who they are. We saw all the jurors many, many times during this trial. I just made it a point not to count and make a note of it. Judge did not repeat the password. It had one. Yes, he said password : and then said many characters, but it was on the paper. The foreman is the phone expert from the Murdaugh trial who yeeted his phone up and down for a few hours. Hey, experts have special ways of figuring things out, and he did it in his hotel room with his own personal phone. Pros repeated the password loud enough to be. Prost repeated it loud enough to be heard. I missed it. If it was password 123, though, that would be interesting. KQD says, I've been a member for 5 months and 29 days. Can't wait to see the color change. It's coming soon. It's coming very soon. Nurse for God, welcome back. How was Brandy's channel today? She says she's going to be in that trial forever. That's her life now. Thanks for gifting a membership as well. Popped in the door and gifted a membership first things. That went to Nina Gill. Nurse for God, just funny side note. We've been trying to give Ivan a membership today. Hang on 1 second. Okay, so we have that was a spam call that went to our home phone. We've been trying to get Ivan a gifted membership today, and it's been unsuccessful. Not for a lack of trying, but it's been amazing. Apparently, YouTube does not allow him to win memberships anymore. I think that trial will go to February 2024. Oh, Nurse for God, does it still captivate you? Are you sucked into this point where you're like, you know what? I'm in it for the long haul. I'm going to see this one through. Or is it like, save me now, I need to start over somewhere else. 6 Volt Bus just gifted a membership and went to Leigh Holland. Congratulations, Leigh. Thank you very much, 6 Volt. One of our great mods. Appreciate that. Jill Ballard gifted 5 memberships. Let's see, those went to Beverly Cease, Lexi, Joyce K, Jeanette Matson, and Nicole R. Thank you, Jill Ballard, for your generous donation and support of the channel as well. Congratulations to all the winners. Make sure you take a seat, as is your right as a member now. Exclamation point seat will get you right there on the front row. Gets all the riffraff out from in front of you, and you can watch. We have room for everybody. Nurse for God. Seriously, I'm telling you, it does not work. YouTube will not give him a membership. I appreciate you trying. Let's see, Ivy Berlin, Nancy P, Kathy Bilodeau, and Hannah LK and TA were gifted memberships by Nurse for God. Ivan can't get one. I apologize. I should have made that clear. It's impossible right now for some reason. YouTube will not allow him to have it. But I appreciate the effort, and thank you for supporting the channel. Nurse for God, thank you. And love your support of Brandy's channel as well. She's absolutely amazing. I'll have to have her on as a guest sometime when she's not doing the trial. I'd love to talk to her again. I mean, we talk offline on the phone and stuff, but let's see. Big Tire says, I thought I'd check in with you all. Big Tire, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Welcome. Good to have you here. Let's see. Who do we have? See, I'm in the same position as Ivan. YouTube won't allow me to have any more gifted memberships. I don't know why, Bradley. And it's possible that there's a transaction that's like pending and stuck somehow, so it puts you out of the eligibility pool, but still not into the membership pool. That's all I can gather right now. Because he's the guy. All right, if I gift on Brandy, I gift on your channel, Nurse for God. That's a very expensive rule to have, but thank you very much. You are a huge supporter of the channel, and it would not be the same here without you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Jury goes home at 5 o'clock, Eileen. It's because he's too busy running the internet. Today's the day. Ivan, honestly, you're the person to fix this. You said yo first in chat, which means that you're responsible for fixing everything IP related, including internet membership issues. Melody says, Ari, was there an Ivan imposter? There was an Ivan's alt. Ivan Victor's alt was here. But we know who the real Ivan is. Because Ivan Victor's alt can probably be gifted a membership. But let's see, Louisiana pays $50 a day for jury duty. Mileage also parking and mileage and $50 a day. And do they give you food? There's Ivan Victor's alt. My first day I bought for a year. RA is the best. Well worth it. Cher, thank you so much. You're absolutely amazing. I appreciate your support. KT says, or Diet Coke Mama says to KT, we're just going to barge in this conversation and see what's happening. I can imagine it's exhausting and frustrating to feel unwell so frequently. I'll keep you in my prayers. Diet Coke Mama, thank you very much. Appreciate that. This is what makes this community absolutely amazing, is your support for each other. Kansas pays $25 a day and a free tornado shelter. Do you think the longer they take, the better it is for defense? I think the longer they take, the higher the chance. Oh my God, sorry. I'm sorry, I just saw what happened. Unholy Saint 88 just gifted a membership to Ivan Victor's alt. so Ivan Victor's alt, got it. Kelly Earl, Bradley McKay, Smokey Sky, and Apple Brooks all gifted memberships. Thank you, Unholy Saint. You guys are amazing today. Thank you. The question we were answering for A Colburn, maybe that. Is it better the longer they take for the defense? The longer they take, the more it seems that they're not on the same page. And I think it means that there's a better chance of there being a hung jury. So at this point, because it wasn't a quick result, I think if it was a very quick result, it would have been a not guilty. That's my honest opinion. So the longer it takes, I think the best you can hope for now is a hung jury. So many gifts today. How many just today? Melissa, I can only tell you since lunch, 77 people have either joined or gifted a membership today. Just since lunchtime. all in effort to get Ivan in green, and it has not worked. But we have Ivan Victor's alt in green, so he looks official. My job is complete. He says, that's done. I saw that his alt was gifted. That is really funny. Really, really funny. Leo, I see you guys trying. It's honestly not working. I'm not sure if there's anyone. Scott I was gifted a membership by Leo. Thank you. I'm not sure if there's many people left to receive them. What happens if it hung jury? Linda, a couple things can happen. Basically, it means that the jury is not able to complete their job. They're not able to reach a verdict. And so they have to start over with a new jury. That means that it's basically a retrial. That's a redo. We reset. We start over with opening statements, but we start over with a new jury, a new pool. They pull a bunch of jurors. We have to reschedule everything. It'll probably be a month or two out, maybe a little bit more to get going, and then it's all over again. And it's possible that everybody does everything exactly the same. That they say the prosecution says we're gonna use the same speech, the same opening. We're gonna call up witnesses in the same order. We think this is effective. We're gonna do it. And they might say, you know what? We tried that last time and we had a hung jury. Maybe we need to tweak things a little bit. We might call an expert witness this time. They can tweak that a little bit, but basically it's a retrial. And once it starts again, it's as if this one never happened. The defendant who's out on bail would still be out on bail. Or out on bond, and so he would still be waiting for the outcome. But the state has the opportunity to then retry him, and they might choose to not try him again, and drop the charges and say, we tried, we just couldn't get a conviction. I don't think we'll get a conviction next time. I don't think that'll happen here. I think they'd want to see it through to a conviction. Nurse for God gifted another membership somewhere in there. I think that one went to Nandi. Thank you very much, Nurse. Let's see. How do I know Ivan's alt is really Ivan? Prove it. Yeah, Ivan's alt has to send me a certain phrase, which I know I've received from Ivan. And so to verify that you're actually Ivan alt is Ivan, you'll have to know that phrase. And I don't think you know it. Jill Ballard, not for lack of trying. Hey, Joe, let's go, was gifted a membership from Jill. Thank you. How common is a hung jury? Not very common, NFL prod. Not very common at all. As a matter of fact, I cannot remember a case where we've had a hung jury in recent history. Can we get to 100 gifted today? We've got to be over 80 now. We're at 80 right now, KR. We're at 80 right this very moment. Luisa, hola todos. Good afternoon. Is that all it takes to get a membership? Pretty much, you just have to turn on the gifts. You go to gifts right here. You go to this link, and you click it and make sure enable gifts on this channel is selected. And you only have to do that one time, and then YouTube puts you in the mix for the gifts, which have been very, very plentiful. You guys have been so generous and kind today. It's been amazing. There was about 50 people before you came back. Yeah, those ones aren't counted. It was a ton. It's been a very generous day. You guys are absolutely amazing. Your generosity it means the world to me and my family. It allows us to keep doing what we love doing here, which is wonderful. YouTube takes a percentage of everything, as you know, and then after that, the taxman takes a percentage. So the way it boils down is that if there were a $5 membership, YouTube takes 30%, and then taxes take about 25%. So that leaves about 45% that goes to the creator, which is better than zero, says Mrs. R.A. Ashy Snow just gifted 5 memberships. Kit Kat, Melanie Schuler, Valerie Frankie, Melissa Beeman, and Louisa Ruse, all gifted memberships by Ashy Snow. Ivan, it's just not in the works for you. I'm sorry, my friend. Everybody loves you, but it's just not happening. Okay, Nathan Elliott, YouTube doesn't like me. It's trying. Your odds are getting better and better as we have fewer and fewer people in gray. Thank you for all the generous people. This is so fun, and it's I will say that we have a lot of just amazing people on who are subscribed to this channel, who are in a position where they can't purchase a membership, where income is fixed and the money is spent as fast as it comes in, the money is spent, and it doesn't allow for that extra room. And those that are able to be generous and offer that to them is just awesome to let them be a part that way. Know that it is not needed. You being here is enough. That is all. It is awesome to have you here. But it's just incredible. Thank you. And Nurse for God just did 5 more. Bora Bora, Donna Adams, Nathan Elliott, Mr. D50, and Geo's Girl. Thank you very much. Are we sure Ivan wasn't put in timeout or whatever? He's not. He's definitely here. Did you get your internet sorted out? Richard, I did. I'm on fiber internet. We have canceled cable entirely. We don't even have the hardware set up. I've taken the cable that was running across my room, the floor of this room, and I've shoved it back under the house through the floor. It's gone now. It's a done deal. We've taken the cable modem, which they wanted us to charge us for every month. We've returned it to the manufacturer, and I've got a receipt for that. We're done with cable, and the fiber is fantastic. It is so good.
They keep asking for you to give them a review, and I keep not telling you about it because you'll be mean.
Who's asking for a review?
The cable people. They're like, how's the service?
The cable people keep asking me to give a review on their service. Yeah, they don't want that. Nope. They definitely don't. I want to do that, but they don't want that. Ivan, the Ivan that got a membership was the Ivan Victor's alt. Someone made a funny account just in parody of Ivan, sort of to laugh at him a little bit. It was not Ivan, and it got a membership, but Ivan Victor did not. Holler at Ivan so he can chat in chat. Ivan's here. He's busy. Ivan also has a small business. He's a businessman. He runs up there in his town. And so he has his hands full. It's fun because he has a big screen TV there in his shop, and at times he's had our channel playing on the big screen TV, which is sort of funny because he sells adult beverages, and so here you have Recovery Addict playing on the TV of a store that sells adult beverage, which is just a fun little dichotomy. Sherry says, I'm back from an appointment. Did the jurors return from lunch? They did return from lunch, but went straight to deliberation. We've had a total of 3 questions now. The first 2 questions, the answer was no. They said, can we have the exhibits, the big poster boards that were shown during trial? They asked the question 2 different ways, even though it was the same question. And the answer was no to both. And the second question was, hey, we need the password to the videos, and it's not working. And so they got the answer, and a lot of information's been provided for them. We'll see what happens. Mom, grandma, / great grandma says I will probably never see the day when we get fiber. It might happen. It's actually spreading around the country pretty fast. KH in South Carolina says we hooked up to Starlink yesterday. Woohoo! That is awesome. Starlink is great, especially if you don't have any other options. It's not the fastest internet out there, and obviously if there's a major snowstorms and things, it can cause some disruptions. But it's really, really cool. Tammy L, Taylor Elliott, Sherry Zabar, Dusty Bell TX, and Tater Tot all gifted memberships from our very own Katrina, one of our mods. Thank you very much, Katrina. Fantastic. You're amazing. Could you ask Mrs. R.A. why she thinks the jury is taking this long?
About stuff that is not relevant.
You know what I think?
Here, right here. Talk in the mic.
Okay, I got a hot take on this. I think it's because they don't allow us to have any outside information. You just go in with what you've listened to on the in the court, and then you have to use your memory and use the information they've got there, and that's it. And I personally cannot make decisions like that. I have to think about it. I have to look up, information that people talked about generations ago. I need to think, and I need to be able to process and come up with finding the truth. And they just aren't allowed to have that. They're just like, nope, here you go. You got to do it with the tiny bit of information I give you. So that's probably not why at all, but that's why I would be struggling.
So Mrs. R.A. is saying she would not be a good juror because she would be on YouTube, be like, hang on, I need to look up this. I want the definition. Give me the original. What?
1820
I need the 1820 dictionary to hear the original meaning of the word in this law. And it would be difficult to just go off what was presented in court. Ivan is here, says, I'm lurking, super busy. Congrats, all to count. Yep, that happened. I think there should be panels of professional jurors who are trained. There's an interesting idea.
Behind Matthew Harris.
Trained by Matthew Harris. Yes, says Mrs. R.A. Mrs. R.A. is just too logical. She is very logical. And a smart lady. We don't always agree, believe it or not. Oftentimes we don't agree, but then she fills me in on the details, and then I see the light, and we come together. So she's back.
True story. Scott and I do not belong to the same political party. And it is usually not a problem because although we come to, I'm not talking in the mic, although we come at things from a different angle, almost always, we usually come to the same main idea. He may come and say, well, I believe that this is the right application, and I will say, I disagree. I think it should be this application over here. But the truth is, we both are trying to do the right thing. And so I think, well, as long as we're giving it our best shot, it's fine.
This is true. We're not members of the same political party. How can that be possible, says Content Angel. This is proof. Let me just tell you, this is proof that we can have disagreements and still be civil. I can. At least Mrs. R.A. can, she says. So yeah, it's what he said. Who's the liberal? No, I don't think we're going to tell which parties. There are more parties than two. Let me say that. There are more parties than two. But even though it's a two-party system, really, in the U.S. Let's see. The Knoxville agent says, can you explain the difference between bail and bond, pretty please? Well, because you said pretty please, Knoxville agent. With bail, the defendant or their family pays the full bail amount to the court, and the money is refunded at the end of the case as long as the defendant appears in court. With bond, the defendant pays a non-refundable fee to a bondsman who then posts the bond with the court. I may or may not have Googled that. Okay, I did. I Googled that for you. So basically, with bail, you pay the full bail amount and you get your money back. That's so you might say you're out on $100,000 bail. You got to put up $100,000, and you give them the cash, and then after you appear in court, you get that $100,000 back. With bond, they might say, okay, you've got a $100,000 bond. You call the bail bondsman and they say, okay, we'll take if you give us $1,000, we'll put up the money, and then you won't get it back. You just put up that money, and you won't have to put up the other $99,000. We'll put up the money, and then if you run away, we'll chase you down and find you. But yeah, you're paying a fee that you don't get back. So it's easier to pay for bond if you don't have much money, but you lose out. It really hurts the poor, is what it does. The system hurts the poor because the rich are able to pay for their own bail. They have the cash to put that up, and the poor cannot, and they end up poorer because of it. Okay, happy wife, happy life. That's a great idea. It's no different than being married to someone with a different religion. You just need to respect each other's beliefs. You don't need to agree, just be respectful. I agree. There's so much in life, in society, in our little community, even here on YouTube. If we wanted to focus on where we have a difference, I bet no matter who it is, no matter which person it is here in this channel, if we sat down and really dug into it, there would be some points where you and I just disagree, where we could not come together, and we like, this crosses the line. I refuse to talk anymore about this issue. We could find that point of disagreement, but why? When 90, 95, or even 99% of what we believe or agree on or think is together. Why do we have to focus on what draws us apart instead of where we can be united and say, hey, let's agree to do this because we're on the same page this way. I honestly, I try to run the YouTube channel that way, where we focus on where we agree instead of on the things that separate us. And I think it makes for better conversation. It makes me a smarter person because I get to listen to things in a respectful way that I might not understand or agree with, and sometimes I change my mind. It's looking like a Wednesday verdict. We're going to do a Wednesday hump day yell tomorrow, if I rest my voice until then. Let's see. Weather Watch says a guy in my town has paid over $5 million in bail over the last couple months. Story says, what did he do? Or what did he allegedly do at this point? You know, we want to watch that trial. That was interesting. Thank you, says Knoxville Agent. You're welcome anytime. That's why I like being single, says Ricky Watson. Yeah, you can always, nobody to disagree with you. That's funny. I'm so surprised it went on this long already. Really, we're approaching the end of the day. We have half an hour before the judge sends the jury home, and it's a full day of deliberation. I didn't think it would take this long. I really didn't. Weather Watch, not a trial for this channel at all. Whatever he did, we don't want to know about it. Okay, good to know. Can we do a poll on what time tomorrow for the verdict? We're going to have to do a new poll because the first three answers were wrong. And arguably, the fourth answer was wrong as well because I assumed that the judge was providing menus and dinner for them. Apparently, he's not even doing that. And so the fourth answer was we're going to need more menus. Yeah, they're not getting the menus. Paula says, I'm off work tomorrow, so I'll have to listen while I run errands. And get a pedicure. 5 million, that's a lot. It's generally something really bad. Usually the worse the crime, the higher the bail. If I pick the right time for the jury coming up with the results, says Debbie. You picked the fourth option. You were one of just 11%, Debbie, who said that it would take more than 8 hours. What astrological signs are you and Mrs. R.A.? It's not something I know. I think I'm an Aries. And whatever the first one is of the year, I think that's Capricorn. Oh man, I can't be friends anymore. Oh, it's over. It's over. That's it, Jackie. That's it. We don't. Our signs are not compatible. So I'm just kidding. We're being funny. How much longer for today? Less than half an hour, Vivian, and we're going to be done. No 6 p.m. for jury to deliberate until? No, just 5 p.m. says the judge. That was the plan. 5 p.m. and we'll be done. Missy Baker says, my hubby and I just mumble under our breath and move on. Been together 36 years. Seems to work. I vote. He doesn't. Well, if he doesn't vote, he can't complain, Missy. That's how it works. If you don't vote, you can't complain. I'm thinking if they don't finish today, there's no telling where they are and when they'll be done. Okay, so this is funny. I think it's funny. We have 3 more days. I cannot see it taking 3 more days. Honestly, that is a very, very long time to continue deliberating in this trial. This wasn't. I guess it was. How long was the trial? Almost a month. It was almost a month. It was several weeks long. So there was a lot of evidence, and assuming they rewatch all the videos in real time, they're still going to be done in about a day with all the videos, and then what? Reread all the testimony? What are you going to do that takes that much time? How much can you go over before you say, okay, we've seen it all, we've discussed it all, we have all the information, now we need to vote? Do you just say, okay, we voted, we don't agree, we're going to rewatch it again until we agree? Here comes Mrs. R.A. with a hot take. Hang on.
I don't know if this is an easy question to answer in a text, but the way that I process information, I basically boil it down to it all hinges on this one moment. Alex Murdaugh was there when it happened. He saw it or he did it. It all boils down to this one thing. For me, in this case, it all boils down to he didn't have the right information. But that's how I process. So once I get down to that thing, I'm like, solve that one problem and we're golden. Is that how you guys process? Or if you guys were in the jury, like for me, that's it. I'm like, solve that one problem and I've got my answer. But I don't know if that's how everybody thinks. I'm not sure if that's how juries work.
I can tell you, I would want to be a jury foreman. I really would. But they're playing dominoes, so Sherry. Here's what I'd say. I would want to say, first of all, where are we at? Quick straw poll. I know some judges don't like that, but give me a quick straw poll. Where are we at? If we're all on the same page, do we need to rehash everything to make sure we're still going to stay on the same page in 10 minutes? I don't think so. So find out where we're at first. If we're all together, it's like, okay, quick verdict, done and out. There's no reason to stay here. If we're not on the same page, we say, okay, why do you feel that way? What was it for you that put it that way? Whether you're for or against, let's hear every person. This is why, this is why, this is why. And then let's say, can we talk about this? And if somebody says, you know, I'm against Scot Peterson, you know, being ruled not guilty because he was, you know, he had his rifle and his shield and full body armor and he should have gone in. And other people could say, wait, actually he didn't. And they're like, oh, I thought he did. You know, I must have heard wrong. That might change their mind. You might be able to answer a question like that. So I'd want to start deliberating really quickly. I wouldn't want to start rehashing all the evidence just to watch it again for no reason. I'd need to know what it was. What's the hang up? What's the reason? First of all, if the reason that you are definitely going to say guilty and I'm saying not guilty, I want to watch your reason. I want to see if your reason convinces me that maybe I'm wrong. And then if I want to take my reason and say, well, this is why I definitely say he's not guilty, and I want to show it to you and see if that maybe convinces you that maybe you're wrong, and see if there's room to budge. But if there's no room to budge after all that, I'd send the judge a note and say, hey, we tried, but all we're going to do here is waste our time and our lunch money. Okay. Judge Fine be cheap. Yes, he does not pay for lunch. Moral crimes are the hardest to agree on. The jury is napping, relaxing, and annoying RA. Not necessarily in that order, though. I got a spam text. Will you come to the charity gala next week? Complete spam. Never got a text from this person in my life. They're just trying to get me to respond. Should we wind them up or have them call us? I'm stuck on the fact that he did not know where the sound was coming from. How can you run to it if you don't know where? Song Chef, I agree. I realize he could have done something that would have helped him figure out where the sound was coming from. But I can't say that he's, negligent because he didn't do that.
Okay, I have a new question.
Mrs. R.A. has a new question. She needs a new mic, honestly. We have to do this.
Okay, this is because Selena K says, I was on a jury and I found out after how much evidence we didn't hear. It was insane. Oh, I misunderstood what you were saying. I thought that you were saying that once you got in the jury room, you were talking with the other jury members and you realized how much that you hadn't caught. And so that discussion brought forth a lot of information. So based on that misreading of your text right there, I was wondering if it would be more effective to have a jury function kind of like we function, where at the end of the day, you sort of talk to each other and work it out and sort of process as you go. I think if we did something like that, you would really need to have the ability for the jury to ask questions like they did in that one case so that you could not only process it, but start filling in the holes as you go. Because I think there's a real challenge to just holding all this information in your head and trying to remember what you cared about and what stood out to you and then make it all, it's all in the final. That's really stressful. I would prefer to be able to work it through as I went. What do you guys think? I don't know.
We need her on a mic and headset and on camera. She says, I need to be recording my own video for my channel. Tommy says, do we know what is on video they asked for? We believe it's a security camera footage from inside and outside the building. And the software that's able to view the footage allows them to sync it up and watch multiple, side-by-side time-synced video. So they could see what's happening inside at the same time they see what's happening outside. It would be awesome if we had a scam caller call us. We'll see. We'll see if they will. They just want me to get on a different app where they can use a tool that sends a link that enables them to access my phone. It's a scam. Anyway, Mrs. R.A. is a very good communicator, 100%. I like your idea, Mrs. R.A. I'm an Aquarius, January 23rd, says Dodie. Judge's haircut looks bougie. He can't afford dinner for 6. I'm not sure if that word is good or bad that I just used. It looks rich, and he can't afford dinner for 6. Okay. Mrs. R.A. had to tell me what that word meant. There were people who were calling 911 from the moment it started. The location info would have been relayed very quickly. Yes, but it all got relayed to the Springs. What was it? Cedar Springs? I forget. The police department, not the sheriff's office. And we heard zero evidence throughout any of the trial that any of the information from any of the callers was relayed during that time period to the SRO. We're on Twitter for notifications. Search for verdict reached on Twitter. Let me see if I can find it. You can do... Let's see what it is. Law and Crime has at Law and Crime Verdict has one where they just post verdicts. Typically in the cases they're following. There are similar ones, I think, for Court TV and a couple others that are sort of just general. But right now, what I'm watching on Twitter is just the hashtag Scot Peterson. So we've got over 6 hours of deliberation, and it's already so hard waiting. I know it's a process, but these charges feel so wrong to me. Says this is from TJ Bits. Judge will let them go to 5 p.m. today, says Kathy Russin. Deliberation time when the password was given was 6 hours and 36 minutes. We're almost to 8 now. Seems they haven't rejected the theory that says that Scot Peterson was a caregiver with the duty to protect. They could be looking at the videos to determine if his actions were reasonable or child neglect. The problem I have with the caregiver idea and his responsibility for their welfare is how could he know? Like, not just know, but not just like assume or say this is a possibility of, but he would have to know that this was occurring to be guilty of it. And if he, for whatever reason, did not register anything other than the 3 gunshots, which he thought occurred outside the building, as he was going up to the building to enter, and before they entered, they heard gunshots where they sounded like they were coming from the space between the buildings, the 700 and 1300. If that's all he ever heard, how do you convict on that? I mean, we know that people were in the building on a different floor and didn't hear gunshots that happened in the building. People were in classrooms and didn't hear the gunshots that were happening, down the hall. They thought it was a computer tray or something. I guess they heard it but didn't recognize it. Let's see. I'll check out your next video with Mrs. R.A. I said earlier I'm going to be homeschooling my eldest now, and your vids are awesome, says Allison Cuthbert. Thanks for calling. Twice today, by the way, Allison. Appreciate that. New co-host, Mrs. R.A., says Jackie D. I said that on lunch. I passed that message on and said, no, she said, no, they don't want me. Said, yeah, they do.
You make me sound like a little kid.
She's really smart. She will make me look stupid, though. I will say that. A Nurse for God says, R.A., have your channel on my iPad and Brandy's on TV. Perfect. Great mix there. Gender must be a caretaker, too. He's an employee. In Florida, he may fall under that.
Okay, I have a hot take on that.
Here comes another hot take from Mrs. R.A. You're going to need a chair.
I'm just stirring the pot. For all of you who have made it this long and been so patient, I will just make your life so stressful right now. Sorry. Here's my take on the caretaker thing. I don't know what the legal definition of that is, but I think it's a stupid thing to have existing. If you're a human being, you are a caretaker of the people around you. If you have somebody who is being hurt that is not able to defend themselves, you are responsible to protect them. If you are in a situation where somebody's really struggling in some manner, you are their caretaker. It's just so weird to me that we're like, oh, that person is and that person isn't. Like, are you human? You are.
There's part of us inside where we see injustice happening and we know that that's wrong. And Mrs. R.A. and I talked about this over lunch. There was a time back in the day, way back in the day, when just insinuating that someone was a coward was justice enough or reason enough to challenge them to a duel to the death. That to challenge their honor, to say that I would act in a cowardly way. I will kill you over that allegation type thing. That's what there was there. We've lost that. We've lost that high regard for honor, for respect, I believe that if we still had that, this case would have been very different. I do believe that there would be a lot of public outcry that he didn't do something, meaning that the average person probably should be able to conclude that something bad was happening there and they needed help, and he should go in. But I also think this never would have gone to trial back then.
Yeah, I agree.
He would be dishonorable in the eyes of the community, and that enough would be punishment, but not criminal. Tamara Jones still holding up for a verdict today, but there is a legal definition and a moral definition, said Red Pen. Here's my take. If Mrs. Ari is co-host of this channel, we'll be over 30K subs easily, says Nathan Elliott. I tell you, there's room for her right here. I can just scoot over and we could make it happen. I have a very smart wife. Thank you, Debbie. I agree. I agree with that train of thought as Mrs. RA, but there are times we need to mandate the caregiving. I think this is what SP was hired to do as an SRO, says the Brown Barn. Mia Bailey says, teacher here, and I would do anything to help my students, but for others to use hindsight, that scares me. The hindsight is very scary, to go back. To look how many years went by before he was charged. I mean, this is... We're going back in time saying, here, what could we have done differently? Oh, this individual who we thought was a hero all up until this time could have done something more. Let's prosecute him. Okay, we've got a call coming in on the burner phone. Guess who it is? Mr. Ivan, how are you doing, my friend?
Are they letting me call in? Are they?
Only because you're bypassing the YouTube powers that be. Oh, where you're calling me directly on the burner phone.
Okay, I want to make sure we're patching around the man.
Yes.
I don't want to have the guys in the black suits and black vans coming through your windows here. But
is that
it's a little crazy to me. I think we have a hung jury in our hands, sir.
We've definitely got some holdouts.
I think based on what we have had so far, I guess my gut tells me, like, and maybe this is like just because bias or like what I'm feeling, but I feel like we have heavy not guilty with one or two that just can't get past, whatever they can't get past. But I think anytime you have kids and police, you have a strange dichotomy, and then you had both. And there are going to be some people who are always going to hold police to a different standard, whether it's rational or not. And you're going to have some people who are emotionally invested in children, whether it's rational, you know what I mean? And so I think once you have those two sort of elements in the same scenario, I don't know that it's like abortion or religion. You're never going to convince people off of their platform how they feel, Yeah.
Well, here's what I think. If you've got a not guilty, a strong not guilty, they're not going to budge. Okay.
Yeah.
The space between not guilty and guilty of even a lesser included is so wide. That's a huge jump. If you have somebody who's saying they're definitely guilty, they might be able to be talked down to a lesser included, much easier than you would get a not guilty talked up to a lesser included.
Right. Well, and I like I said, I just don't think if somebody is convinced that guy should have did more, whether they think he should get 100 years or 10 minutes in jail, it doesn't matter. Like, if they think he could have did more or should have did more, they're never going to change their mind on that. Like, and so I think this has all the elements and all the mixings for a hung jury. And I've never seen one, like, at least as long as I've been watching with you, I haven't. But I feel like this case has all the elements of that kind of scenario.
Yeah. It could happen. How long before we find out?
Well,
does it have to go 2, 3, 4 days, or are we at a point where?
It's not going to be today, obviously. Yeah, it's not going to be today. I think. Sorry, I got a lawnmower in the background. It's not going to be today. I think the judge will probably make him go at least another full day. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get to noon tomorrow and we get a note saying we're deadlocked. So
could happen tomorrow. It might still happen tonight. We've got 10 minutes.
Especially since they're not getting free meals. So it's not like they have to wait till lunch to get their free burger.
Yeah.
Like they could come back.
What's the benefit of dragging this out any longer if there's not free food?
Right.
I've got several youth from my youth group who, if there's not free food, they're not going. So
yeah, exactly.
I imagine jurors.
I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting fed. I'm not getting respected. Like, what's the point? Like, this one guy won't get off his soapbox. It's one or two people, because I feel like I just feel like the order of requests and questions, they're just, I think the foreman is probably saying not guilty, but there's one or two who are just, honed in on, making him, pay, and they're trying to request anything they can to get him to change their mind. And it's all going for naught.
Yeah. So, the judge obviously does not want a hung jury. As Rudy Patootie said, the judge doesn't want a deadlock, but if they does, there's going to be that dynamite charge, that Allen charge, where the judge says, go back, try harder, get back in there, rethink it, be willing to listen, see if you can make that work. And I'm not sure if that'll work or not, but we'll see.
Well, yeah, I mean, how many days would it take to get somebody to convince them of a religious belief or an abortion belief or one of those key sort of volatile, topics that you're never going to convince somebody of? You could be there all year.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't matter how many diagrams, how many videos, how many documents. It's just not going to change their mind. So anyway.
Yeah. Thank you, Ivan. Appreciate it. We'll I guess be back tomorrow with more of this, but appreciate the take and good to hear from you. Hope YouTube shows you some love here soon. So we love you.
All right. Love you guys. Have a good day, man.
We'll see you. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
All right. The Allen charge would be issued from the judge if they deadlock. Obviously, he does not want he doesn't want this whole process to come to naught. And that's what it would be if they're hung. I don't think it's hung yet. I believe there's still time. But Ivan does bring up an interesting point. How many of you, with where you stand right now on your feelings about this case, can say, I could probably be convinced to switch? Not just like to, if I say he's guilty, I could probably be convinced to go on a lesser charge. But I could be convinced to vote not guilty. Or I imagine that's what the jurors are in the same position of. They've listened to all this evidence, and so many of you are saying, hey, not guilty, not changing, or, yes, he needs to pay. He was the SRO, he was the only one that could do something, and he didn't. But that's where they're at. I've got to think by this time, they've taken that straw poll, and they know they're not all on the same. They're not all on the same page. Yeah.
I had a teacher in high school, criminal justice teacher, and he was talking about this exact situation. And he said that if he was the last person there holding out for, hang on, I want to say this right. If he was the only one saying guilty, then he would change his mind. He would say, okay, if all of you say not guilty, I will give on that. But if he was the only one saying not guilty, he would hang the jury. And that one statement that took place when I was just a teenager has really had a huge impact on how I view this, and that whole innocent until proven guilty, and the personal responsibility that each of us has to give that benefit of the doubt to everybody. So I don't know that I'd have the courage to face down all of my fellow jurors, but he did, and I think that really, I think, is the right way to do it.
Hang on one second, Ricky. I'm gonna answer this in a minute. Let me actually put you on hold here for just a second. Ricky, hold on 1 second. I just want to talk for a second. We'll bring you on. All right?
Oh, yes, sir.
All right. Quick thing from Miss Ari, if I can remember my thought. The jurors are basically voting and determining if Scot Peterson was a coward or not, if he acted honorably, if he did what he was supposed to do, what his duty was. And we are asking the jurors to do the same thing, to act honorably, to do what their duty is. And now they may view that differently. There may be a juror on there who says, my duty is to convict, and there may be another juror that says, my duty is to not convict. But if that is their honestly held belief, they need to stand by it. they need to not budge. They need to say, I'm going to do the harder thing, and I will do what I believe. I will be courageous. I will be the odd man out in this. But on this ground, I will die. This is worth fighting for, and we're asking them to do that. So, I hope that there's somebody that if they do feel strongly one way or another, that they hold to that, because. Yep, which is ironic. Yep, Mr. Watson, Ricky, how are you doing? Got your volume back up. I can hear you now.
I'm doing well. First and foremost, I just want to say you got a beautiful little young lady right there.
I do.
And I'm kind of on the fence with Victor Ivan, because it's going to wind up in either a hung jury, but I don't feel that he needs to be guilty about nothing. Because, like I told you yesterday, y'all ain't been in that experience until you've been there.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I just wanted to holler at you and say I agree with Ivan. It's going to be a hung jury.
Yeah, I'm still hopeful that there's still a lot of people deciding that that they're saying I just need to hear more, or I just have a little bit of doubt. Help me shed some light on this last little bit that I can't quite shake. I hesitate to vote right now because of this reason. So there might be somebody out there who's in that position. I'd like to see the jury reach a verdict, because that's why we have juries. That's why that's why we have this process.
But it's like they've only got 6 in yonder, and it's going to take maybe 2 of them to lead it into a hung jury. I don't know if they're just going to take it off of one person by chance.
Well, it has to be unanimous. So if there's one person that's willing to stand and not budge, it could be a hung jury because of one.
Okay. Well, see, I've never been in one of them 6 ones trials. I've always had the 12,
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, when I was in law enforcement, gosh dog, it took forever and 3 days, it seemed like,
to go to trial.
But
yeah,
I mean, but the way it's going kind of right now, I'm hanging towards the hung jury.
Yeah, it is. So, we're all sort of in the same boat. We were expecting something sooner than this. So yes, sir. I figured it'd be done by yesterday. Yeah.
But by gosh dog, I mean this is ridiculous. We're what, 8 hours and 9 minutes into it now?
Yep. And we're actually just a minute and a half basically away from them calling it quits tonight, and then they're going to pick up again tomorrow morning. So Ricky, thank you. Appreciate the call. Good to hear from you as always.
You bet, bud.
Appreciate it.
Hey, tell that good-looking lady howdy for me.
Will do. Thank you, Ricky.
All right.
We'll see you.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right.
Appreciate that, Ricky. Let's see. I think nothing new on this. I don't think there's anything happening. The judge is about to probably call people to order. We do expect the judge to basically come on camera and say, okay, we're wrapping it up for the day. Actually, any second now. And in 1 minute or so it should happen. So keep an eye out for that. I've got the audio turned on. We'll catch that. It's a moral trial, not easy for the jurors. Cyber Writer comes in with a good question. What good is having a resource officer with a gun if he's not going to do anything? I guess some would say just the appearance of force is a deterrent to crime. But, that when it's not deterred, what are you going to do then? Let's see. Not moving on what he's. Let's see. I'm not moving on what I said. I said still saying not guilty on all charges, says Johnny. I think a lot of people would say that I'm firm in my position. What's the Allen law? Sorry, I can't Google it. Yeah, Michelle, the Allen charge, basically if the jury comes back deadlocked, saying we can't agree, we can't find the common ground and all vote the same way, the judge basically says, go back and try again, reset, repeat the process, shuffle a little bit, listen, talk to each other, try to find a solution. He can't tell them which way to go. He can't say, change your mind. But he says he can say try harder, and he can be very forceful with that, saying, "Look, this went to a lot of expense to do this." I don't know exactly how he's going to verbalize this, but basically say, "This is your job. You are the jury. We asked you if you could come to to look at this, weigh all the evidence, and come to return a verdict. We need you to return a verdict, and see if he can do that." But I've never seen the judge do that myself. I'd be looking forward to see that happen. It might happen in this case. We are now hit 5 o'clock. I'm stopping the timer. The jury should stop deliberating right now, and so we're at 8 hours. Yep, yeah. Here's the judge. Perfect timing as well. Let's see what happens here.
Javette, you good?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back on the record. This is State of Florida versus Scot Peterson, 197166CF10A. I have Ms. Gomes, Mr. Kilmer, and Mr. Klinger present for the state. I have Mr. Eiglash present with Mr. Peterson, who likewise is present. We are outside the presence of the jury. It being now 5 o'clock, that was the schedule that I originally gave the jurors when I first met them, so it would be my intention to bring the jury in, instruct them that they're going to follow the exact same procedure that we did last night. They're going to cease their deliberations at this point. I'm going to send them home with the same instructions and admonitions, ask them to be back here tomorrow, which is Wednesday, June 28th at 9 o'clock at the jury room. As soon as they all return, we'll have them back in the jury room and they can resume their deliberations at that time. State, any objection to proceeding in that manner or anything else that you need me to address?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any objection to proceeding in that manner or anything else you need me to address?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, please ask the jury to come back in. Thank you.
Jury's coming in. Need to focus there. There we go. Judge has called a stop to the deliberations. He's going to call the jury in and say, give them the same admonition, saying, don't be juror number 3, but we'll see you in the morning. And so we're gonna pick up again where we left off. So 5 p.m. is the stop time. We've got just over 8 hours and 12 minutes by my count, and that's a rough count, obviously. But just over 8 hours of deliberation time, and the jury is going to continue. So going home for the night. Hopefully not to watch the news. Ivy Berlin says recovery at access to guns in USA are strange for us Europeans. To have armed officers in school seems insane. It's different. I don't know how to describe it. Having lived a little bit in England and learned a little about that, I can see that. I can see how guns are literally not just in schools, but not in society. That shooting is not a common sport. That it's not a pastime like it is in the United States, and it is. It's deeply ingrained in our history and in many of our cultures. Who is it?
Jurors entering.
Oh, come on in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Come on in. Ladies and gentlemen, once you're back at your seats, you may be seated. All the parties may be seated. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stick to the same schedule that I gave you when I met you back at the end of May. It being 5 o'clock, I'm going to give you the same instructions, the same admonitions that we did last night at 6 o'clock, which is we're going to pause the deliberations at this point. Once you leave the jury room, even if though you might be exiting the building together, walking in the parking lot together, all the deliberations have to stop at this point. I'm going to ask that you do not discuss the evidence, the witnesses, the testimony amongst yourselves or anyone else. Do not do any research on your own, directly or indirectly, about the parties, places, people involved in the case in any way, shape, or form. That's on the internet, on social media, on your phones. I'm going to ask you not to continue, not to read the newspaper. Do not watch any news. I'm going to ask you to be back here tomorrow, which is Wednesday, June 28th at 9 a.m. in the jury room. And we will follow the same procedure as we did today. As soon as you all 6 return tomorrow morning, You'll be right back in that jury room. It will be sealed again tonight. All of your notes, all of the evidence, everything will be in there waiting for you. No one is going to enter that room until you all enter it together, the 6 of you, tomorrow morning after you return. So with that being said, I hope you have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow morning at the jury room at 9 o'clock. Have a good night.
Let me just say, I like it when the judge stands for the jury as well. I realize the judge is like.
Okay, we're outside the presence of the jury. Everyone can be seated. State anything you need me to address before we recess the trial until 9 o'clock tomorrow. Defense, anything else you need me to address? Okay, so the trial will be in recess until we otherwise hear from the jury at 9 o'clock tomorrow, which is Wednesday, June 28th. Division FX will be in recess until tomorrow, Wednesday, June 28th at 8:45 a.m. Again, I do not need you to be present. Ms. Wilcox has your contact information. As soon as we have all 6 jurors back, they will go right back in the jury room, resume their deliberations, and we will otherwise be in recess till we hear from the jury. I hope you all have a good night.
Scot Peterson is there with family or friends. He's ready to go home for the night. So it's over. I guess we won't see the lavender suit tomorrow. We're going to see a different suit from the prosecution. And we're going to wrap it up. That's it. The court reporter didn't stand either. I can understand why. She has to keep records of everything that's going on. It is on the record. She sort of has an exception there. I think we got Johnny on the phone. Just one second.
Johnny Strabler.
Hey, Johnny, what's happening?
Hey, I saw a couple comments. People were talking about guns. I thought maybe I could get some stuff straight, hopefully for some people.
Yeah.
A lot of parents don't want police officers on campus with guns. They make a big deal about it, that it's, they feel it's wrong. It's just kids going and learning. I think it's great to have a school officer there just because, a lot of crimes do occur. Number one. Number two, lethal force. I mean, obviously, in this case, under certain circumstances, lethal force would have been a choice, an option, had they encountered him while he was actually firing. If he wasn't firing, they couldn't use lethal force. And someone made a comment, well, what's the use of having him on campus with a gun if he doesn't use it? Well, he better use it very wisely. Don't want anyone getting hurt, ricochets, anything like that. Now, had they shot the suspect, and let's say he wasn't an active shooter at the moment, then you get a bunch of people wanting to sue because, hey, you shouldn't have, shot this guy. He wasn't doing anything at the time. I mean, there's always a negative to whatever goes on.
Yep, it's almost like a catch-22. You almost can't win in the situation. You take action and you get sued for it. You don't take action, you get sued for it.
Right, and unfortunately, a lot of officers have that going through their head, which is the last thing you want going through your head. Period. You need to react to the way you were trained, and you need to do it properly. I wasn't there. I'm trying to catch on what I can from the trial, but it sounds like he took a position and he was trying to coordinate as best he could with the lack of communication and problems that were going on, and everything else without watched through this trial. Yeah. So obviously, I think he's not guilty. Yeah.
Going back to that,
super important.
Going back to the comment you made about the parents and the comment about parents wanting, or not wanting firearms in school. As a society, generally, a regular police officer in full gear, we're talking, the belt, the badge, the radio, the gun, the handcuffs, even the baton, everything they typically wear, we seem to be very accepting of that. But if you then took that officer and had him carry his issued long rifle, it has a different effect in society. Suddenly it's like, whoa, why the gun type thing. We realize that they've got a sidearm and that's like part of their gear and that's okay. But as soon as you put him in there with a gun that really would be very effective in this type of situation, it suddenly is like parents are like, I don't want my kids around that. We don't want that to happen.
A lot of them don't realize, depending on the jurisdiction and the funding that the department may have, he may have a beanbag rifle in the trunk. He may have a AR-15 sitting in the trunk. He's definitely going to have a boomer, a shotgun in the trunk. So that stuff's locked up and it should be available. as far as I was concerned, I would have tried to get the patrol car as close to as I could to use it as a command post and work from there. But obviously, under these circumstances, he couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But there's, it's hard we're playing Monday morning quarterback, unfortunately. But if, heaven forbid, they find this guy guilty, you're talking about opening up a can of worms that'll sink not just the police department, but I got to tell you, the DA's office and anyone else who, if you screw up a prosecution, what are they going to go after the attorney later on and say, hey, you didn't do your job right, and this guy got back out and killed people.
We already see that. We see, a DA who makes a decision not to prosecute a certain case, and they go out and commit another crime, and we're like, why'd you let him on the street? It's your fault. If we start making them liable for that type of decision, that is a slippery
and I
slope.
agree. In California, up in San Francisco, they had Gascon, and he used to do that. He got called under the carpet a million times for it. And what they do? They elected him the district attorney of Los Angeles County, and he's even worse.
Man.
So
crazy.
I'm praying that they come not guilty. And as Goodman Law put it, cops aren't caregivers. Not while they're at work.
It's hard to be the caregiver
bad
who
spot.
would be giving advice and counsel to a child and also be in a position to question them legally and hold them responsible for their answers. And so, as
Correct.
Mark Eiglash said, you can't say at one time, hey, what do you have in your bag? What's in your pockets? At the same time, say, hey, you have the right not to answer. If you wanted to an attorney, you can't be both people at the same time. You can't be both good cop and bad cop and good parent. In the questioning at the same time.
And they're really in a bad position in the school because these kids are juveniles, and in most states you can't contact or detain a juvie and speak with them unless the parent's present.
Yeah.
You can detain them and wait, but most parents obviously work, and so it makes it even more difficult.
Yeah. So if you become the caregiver, suddenly you're the parent in local parentis, and suddenly you can the child loses all rights. In that situation.
Correct. You're absolutely correct. Yeah, if they're a caregiver, they would be giving up certain rights as far as that goes.
Yeah.
And so I didn't agree with what the judge did, but when you have the black bathrobe, you can make that decision. But I think it's going to be an appealable issue.
Yeah. This obviously is the first time we've had an officer tried in this type of situation where he's being held responsible for actions he didn't do in a school shooting. This is, the first of its kind, and obviously there's going to be some appeals on this one. But Johnny, thank you very much. Yeah,
not a problem. You have a comment that just went up, said no one person should be in a position to guard the lives of that many people at one time. You know what? I agree. It would have been great if you had a backup. Even one person I think everyone should be deployed with a partner.
Yeah, you look at we watch police chases out of California all the time, and you'll see in a police chase, if you're watching, say from the patrol footage, and we hear the radio traffic, which is really fun to hear. You've got the lead car, and then the backup car is working the radio. Because you can't be the lead car chasing the second position saying, hey, here's where we're going. They're turning left on this street. We're headed this way. Here's our speeds. Here's what traffic is. There's just so much going on in this situation. And even if it's just driving, and so many of us are very good drivers or know how to drive really well, when you're in that situation, there's too much to handle for one officer to be everything. I can't make sure there's, all the traffic's good and that I'm following this guy and it's safety and the speeds and watching for the spike strips and coordinating, other officers moving in and supporting this. It's and having one officer in a shooting situation like that is like that times 10.
Correct. See, if you have two men in a car, your bookman, the seated position on the right, he's the one who's coordinating everything. If you don't have that, then yes, it would be another unit. And if you're lucky enough to get a bird in the air, get a helicopter up, he's going to be calling it because he's got the best position, or she, depending on who's flying. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. If you're stuck right up in the front, yeah, you're going to want someone with you to call that stuff up because you've got a lot of stuff to do. Yeah. And there's a lot of rules to a police chase in California of what information you must put out constantly. Mm-hmm. Speed, direction, weather, traffic, all that stuff constantly has to be updated because the watch commander can 1022 or stop a pursuit at any time if you don't put out the right information.
Yep.
So again, communication, just like this case, communication's everything. So what I suggest is when you're done with this career, you become a police dispatcher. I'll go back to work. You can be the dispatcher.
All right. Sounds good, Johnny. Thanks for calling. Good to hear from you again.
Have a great day.
You too. We'll see you. Bye. All right, we are going to wrap things up on that. Appreciate Johnny for providing that little closeout to the information. We're going to pick up tomorrow, at least in the beginning. I'm not sure if we'll be with it all day, but I do want to watch in the beginning and see maybe first hour or two, see if we get any action. I think I'm going to also take a look out, and you guys, if you see something, let me know if there's some smaller courts, maybe some small trials we can watch as we're waiting for the verdict to come back, because I think we're going to get something tomorrow, even if it's just questions. I'd like to watch for that. So if Cedric's on, or I guess we've got another week or two before, another week before our little Bonnie and Clyde couple come up. But anyway, we're gonna try to have a little bit more entertainment and court related stuff, but not something as serious as starting another trial right now. We want to get the bookend on this one before we pick up another. But we'll be back tomorrow to continue verdict watch that way, and maybe have something to watch. Maybe I'll look for a car chase. We'll see if we have any car chases. It's been a few days, so there might be something out there. Jill Ballard says, public has access to those radios also. They do, but it's hard to find and record and get a copy of the recorded audio and then sync it back up. It's easiest to sync up those radios if you have an in-car camera that's capturing that. It's just it's very difficult to see from the helicopter to sync up the police channel audio with the helicopter footage. Okay. I think, yes, BK had a hearing this afternoon. I think it's going to be aired right now over on Court TV or something, or later this afternoon. If you think about Marjorie Stoneman Douglas as a small college campus, which is multiple buildings across acres, no one would expect one officer to protect a college campus. Most college campuses have their own police force. Literally, they have their own police center and a fleet of vehicles and several shifts of officers to cover it. Let's see. I still shake my head over armed officers in school, says Ivy Berlin. He's not the problem, but the easy access to weapons. Johnny's voice. Wowzer, says Baby Bear. Dinner's in the oven. Hurry on over, says Katrina. Yes, it's going to be Shepherd's Pie, everybody, at Katrina's house. Hope you got the address. All I know is it's in northern Utah somewhere. Thanks as always. Appreciate that, Baby Bear. You guys have been amazing. Let me just say, you guys have been so generous and gifted memberships. There are so many people in green here because of the 97 gifted memberships that came in this afternoon alone. Thank you so much. That makes this possible for me and my family, and it makes us be able to continue. And it shows just a ton of love to people who come and welcome and who stumble upon this channel and realize that this is really a fun place to be, and they're among friends. So thank you all. One day Ivan will be green too. One day we'll get him green. We'll get it figured out. Thank you all who participated that way. To the mods who kept everything running smoothly today, thank you as well. You guys are absolutely amazing. Ivan, great job with the internet today. We're going to pick it up again tomorrow. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone to make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again, which will be at 8:30 in the morning after Mrs. R.A. finishes her exercise. So we'll do it. No verdict yet tonight. No verdict. The jurors have gone home. It's time for us to go home as well. Have a wonderful night. Thank you guys. I enjoyed spending it with you today. Have a fantastic day. We'll see you.
Is that correct?
No, I had the wrong picture up. I can't end without the logo. I had my weather map up. Okay, here we go. Have a great evening, guys. We'll see ya.